anti-drug policy. According to a statement released by the team, Portis mistakenly took tramadol, a substance banned by the NBA anti-drug program, to deal with inflammation while nursing an elbow injury. General Manager John Horst said that they will accept the punishment from the NBA and look forward to Bobby's return. The Bucks also have a basketball game to play tonight. They'll be at the Pfizer Forum squaring off against the Los Angeles Clippers. LA is favored by 1.5 according to ESPN Bet, and tip-off is scheduled for 7 p.m. with pregame coverage beginning at 6:30 right here on Madison's home of the Bucks, 100.5 ESPN. Jim, Matt, and Molly starts now.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com.
Everybody's ego takes a shot on this show.
You gotta keep your chill with Jim, Matt, and Molly.
I am savage.
So you're not special.
Jim, if we want to play this game, we can play this game.
And I'm just like, oh my God, this guy's going to swing on
right.
Jim. He's a complicated fellow.
People like me.
I don't think so.
This is Jim, Matt, and Molly. Presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN.
We're learning a lot about each other.
I'm going to match your energy, and if you're going to bring false titles, I'll bring false titles.
They're not false. Your
They're
6
old
are
as
real.
hell.
My 4 are real.
But they're old as hell.
Amen.
Because I'm here for whatever.
Do they
Do that.
still give out Oreos at dry cleaners?
What?
Huh? Is that
What?
not a thing?
Wait, I don't understand.
Yeah.
Your family never told you don't take candy from strangers?
I wasn't going in alone. I was 4. I don't know. I don't know why this is a big deal.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio in downtown Madison. Alongside America's favorite Alex Gravatt. Here's Jim Rutledge.
It is Jim, Matt, and Molly. We are live from the Everlight Solar Studio. By we, neither Molly Brown out with babies, nor Matt Hamilton out with curling are here with me. Alex G is with me in the Everlight Solar Studio. We are presented by Coors Light. Mountains are blue. You know what to do.
And that's Crush, a Coors Light.
Prime time Wollersheim in his Mr. Rogers ESPN Milwaukee full zip. How are we doing, Prime?
Huh? You know, Jim, I'm still doing well. How are you? How was your way into the office today?
Good.
Good?
Yeah. Drove
Normal?
to Milwaukee, drove back.
Same as always?
Yes, same as always.
No, nothing new?
I did think of you today with the
He doesn't know.
double zip.
The double zip. Oh, was somebody else copying my style?
Someone did, but then this morning I considered wearing a dress shirt, but then I wanted to wear my Iron Jock ESPN thing, and you can quarter zip that you can see on the ESPN Madison YouTube page. And I said I don't want a double collar like Prime, so
Thought better of yourself.
I went single collar.
Single collar.
Yes. What am I missing?
What are you missing on the single collar versus double collar?
No. What didn't I see?
Well, how was your way into the office? The usual way you come in, you walk up, you walk in, grab you some snacks on the way in. What do you usually do?
I went by my desk. What am I missing?
You asked for help to get into the studio again.
Bro, nobody cares. Like, honestly, who cares? This is stupid. We don't work for the government. It's dumb. You know what happened today in Milwaukee? No problems getting in. I walked in, door was open. I ran into a former teammate of ours in Madison, a duel. Let me in the door. No problem. And then another time I had to go out, came back. They had a woman sitting at the front desk. You just wave, she buzzes you in, you're in.
Isn't that because at the Milwaukee office you don't have an ID badge that you use to scan in, whereas the Madison one you do?
That's what I'm saying. Like, seems like Milwaukee in a larger building with more general public around, we should have more security. I'm saying this is ridiculous.
They have a person
Not
whose
even
job is to let you in.
Because full disclosure, the dumb part is we have the stupid badges, but then we got the stupid phone stuff. God forbid you go to the bathroom, you don't bring your phone, you're locked out of the office too. You'd think we'd do something important here.
Rubbish.
I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. There's no gold bars hanging around the ESPN Madison studios.
Ridiculous.
But nobody cares.
All right. That's fair.
All right. Glad we got that ironed out.
I'm with you, Prime.
Yeah. Glad Jim was able to get that off his chest.
He did give me
his one zip chest.
Some free popcorn. His quarter zip, not even a full zip.
I'm not a full zip guy. Full zip.
You're 1 1/4 zip.
I was 1 1/4 zip yesterday. Today I'm just 1 zip.
I'm 4 buttoned, 3 buttons.
Okay.
Not a quarter zip.
All right, I want to throw this out on the ESPN Madison. We'll throw it, Jim, Matt, and Molly.
Yes.
I want to throw out this. 844-770-3776. That's the Carlos Talking text line. This is more. Our first Siding Unlimited poll question. Full zip or quarter zip? Which is it? What's your preference here?
In the winter or just any time of the year?
You just got to figure it out. I mean, I'm saying that what is it you wear the most? What's your preference?
What do you wear the most?
Because full zip, I don't have a full zip like you have now. I have a few full zip hoodies, not very many, because they feel like jackets. I'm not a big jacket guy. I hate jackets. It's honestly one of the most annoying things as you get older. That when I was younger, I never needed a jacket, no matter the weather at all. And then I was like, okay, well, if I'm sick, I might need a jacket. And today, I didn't really need it. I had it in the car. I regretted wearing it because I just got hot.
Like if it were 0 degrees 15 years ago, you're not wearing a jacket.
No, I never wore a jacket.
What?
I hate jackets. I hate jackets. What? I hate gloves. I hate hat. I hate all the accessories. They're all just things for me to lose, and they're all just extra loose clothing that's just out and about. And again, on a day like today, I'm driving. I had to take my jacket off while I was driving because the sun's out, so then it's 10,000 degrees in your car, even though you got the heat down to 63. And you got your jacket on, you got to take it off. So, it's just, I hate jackets. I hate them. I hate gloves. I hate hats. I mean, I wear a ball cap, but I hate all things associated with winter, basically.
So, you know me, I'm a dirty hippie. I like to walk to work when I can. And I do things outside. And so as I'm walking around, I've recently taken to mittens. And nothing makes me feel stupider than wearing mittens because I can't use my fingers. They don't fit quite well. But, they're so much warmer than gloves. So the purpose of them is working, and I'm mad because there's supposed to be gloves underneath them or something like that, and I've lost one of the gloves, and now the mittens are just too big, and I can't grab things. I can't get my keys out of my pocket. I hate mittens, even though they work.
All right, 844-770-3776, full zip or quarter zip. Prime, I think you're a full zip guy.
He's a full zip guy.
I'm definitely more often full zip guy. I love the way we're posting this. Just what do you wear more often? Quarter zip, full zip.
Yeah.
Not shirts, not anything. Just full zip, quarter zip.
People know.
People know.
Is your barn door all the way open, or is it part of the way open?
That's what I'm wondering. That's if somebody interprets it that way.
Who at all refers to the bar you got a full zip going? What is that? That's not a thing. People have context clues. Nobody refers to your quarter zipped to the point of barn doors open, cows getting out, whatever. That's the term, the phrase you'd use for that. You wouldn't say, "Oh, full zip today." Who's looking? Okay.
I will. Okay, I'll get to that in 1 second.
Got a full zip check.
All right, I can't do that in the office.
I went to the bathroom. I didn't for a long time. Right? It was a surprisingly long time today.
For you.
But I went. And I realized I had spent almost the entire day with the button of my pants undone. I've got a belt on, so it doesn't actually matter. But I was like, whoa, that felt weird. Anyway, quarter zip or full zip. I own one full zip, and I'll wear it only around the house. Quarter zips are my, if I'm going to work, I'm wearing a quarter zip. I'm going out to somewhere that's not a nice restaurant, but maybe, not a T-shirt and ripped jeans restaurant. Quarter zip, that's my go-to. The full zip just feels way less classy to me, I guess.
Quarter zip is that's work attire.
Yeah.
Full zip, again, it's either coach / Mr. Rogers. I get why
Brian
Brian wears it if he's a cold fella. Again, I'm not one that gets cold much unless I'm sick at the office. If you're you're a skinnier guy, you got less meat on the bone to keep
I gotta
you
go
warm.
to Carbon World Health more often.
Yeah,
I
so
could
then
save money on zippers.
Right.
Wouldn't need a full one.
So you got to add a little layer. You
Yeah,
know?
that's what it is. I could think about all the free cash I would have.
It's not a slight on either one of you, but you're more.
But we're slight guys.
You guys are more slight builds. Matt and I are huskier fellas. We're not big fellas, but we just got a bigger build.
I'm a nut.
We're men.
So
he's close to 40. I'm over 40.
I'm a man.
You're not
I'm
even.
40.
Are you even 25, Prime?
I'm exactly 25. I'm 25 and a half, actually.
So, what are you, 12? What are we doing? Half die. Half is over.
Well, you asked, are you even 25? I'm 25 and a half.
How many months are you?
25 and 6 months. Well, 25, 6 months.
No.
Totally
No, like with babies. Does your mom refer to you? I got a son. He's 700 months old, whatever it is.
150 plus.
Let me math this quick.
It's 308 months, something like that.
Molly Brown, who returns early March here, her babies are pushing 3 months.
And I'm
She's
306 months.
306 months.
I was
Yes.
pretty close. I think you have to stop using half around the same time shoes do. Shoes, after you get past 13, there are no more half sizes. So that you get to be 13 and a half, and then you're done. Done with the half ages.
So just say
Interesting
teenager.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, I didn't even think about that, but
Look at that. Just cutting right to the bone there.
That is neat.
God, this is hard hitting stuff here. We do have some
Imagine
extra
if you
key,
just remembered your badge.
right? Like I'm assuming it's at my house, but at this point, I have to get it from my. There's like a little not a table area. There's a countertop leading into the laundry room that leads outside. I'm sure it's just sitting there, so I just have to remember to take it and put it
In the
said
car?
truck.
Can you tweet out a photo when you find it and just show us where it was?
Sure.
Just at Jim at Molly on
Sure.
X.
It is like I can't use a lot of times I can picture it. Nor do I care. Maybe you guys just have to let me up all the time. Maybe this is just what it is. In
People
protest.
like me.
In
See-
protest of this stupid key thing.
do you know any of the people at the front desk at the Spark Building?
We're not supposed to ask them. They say they say that they can get in trouble for that. Mm-hmm. I've asked them, and then they're like, "I can do it. I might get in trouble." I'm like, I'm not gonna put you on blast like that.
I've networked.
I've networked too. I just don't like to make that ask to them. They're not teammates. None of y'all getting fired for letting me up.
No, probably not.
So, people like me. I can do that, but you guys are teammates. This is part of being a
People
teammate.
like me.
You let me up. Keep it up, but every day I'm just gonna ask to be let up. This is how it's gonna go. Or there's no show. I'll just wait until 3:30 and 3:45. Be like, let me up, or we're not having a radio show. That's how it's gonna work going forward here. But Bobby Portis suspended 25 games for taking a banned substance, Teradol. Is that what it is?
So I believe he thought he was taking Toradol, and he ended up taking, I believe, you said it earlier, Tramadol? Tramadol?
You're asking the wrong guy.
All right,
I
all
can't
right.
read.
I'll double check. I'll double check the post.
Regardless, took a banned substance. Now, it was prescribed to his assistant from the Milwaukee Bucks. So that part's a little shady.
Yeah.
And then given to Bobby, and Bobby didn't know. Bobby's taking his punishment. The team's taking their punishment. That's the way to do it. Matt Hamilton, if we get a chance to talk to him today, would tell you that, tough cookies. He's very strict on, he knows what he can and can't take. He's very aware. And he's talked before about there are supplement companies and companies that will guarantee with an insurance policy that if you use their stuff, you will not get suspended or will cut you a check for like $1 million. So there are ways to make sure that you are putting the right things in your body. So not knowing what's in my body is not the excuse. So we love Bobby. Hopefully this will be an opportunity for him to recover, because obviously if he's taking anything dull, that means he's trying to recover from...
it was pain. It's a pain management device.
It's coming back from... and that's a pretty hefty pain management prescription there. So hopefully he's coming back and will be in good shape, be healthier with these 25 games off. And look, the only thing that matters for the Milwaukee Bucks is getting to the Eastern Conference Finals, if not farther.
Right, and they're going to still they still have a shot at they'll make the playoffs. Bobby returns with something like 4 games left in the season. It's pretty much a rest of the regular season ban, which specifically with Giannis's shin and whatnot, you don't love to see it, but I'm not crazy worried about it. And the NBA standings happen to kind of fall in a way that, does it matter if you lose 1 or 2 spots? I don't think so, because outside of the Cavs and the Celtics, there's a pretty steep drop-off, in my opinion, for the rest of the Eastern Conference.
Yeah, look, I don't care where they seeded. I care where they finished, because I do believe Shams from ESPN, when he said today, I don't know if we have that audio, but if he said today, we do have that audio. Let's hear Shams, because I know there's some weirdly insane optimistic thought that Giannis isn't going to ask out at some point if this team continues to fall apart. I'm sorry. I would hope, if you're a Giannis fan, that he does ask out, because this team at this point is strapped like the Titanic, getting ready to go down. And Giannis, save yourself. Get on a lifeboat. But let's hear Shams.
Within that Bucks organization, they know what's at stake this season. They know the pressure. And every summer when Giannis looks around and he looks at the Bucks' current roster, he looks at sustained long-term winning. Where will he be able to find that? And he has said publicly on the record, if he feels like that's not attainable anymore in Milwaukee, he will look elsewhere. But of course, he has tried always to make everything work in Milwaukee. Even just this season, they've gone out and gotten Kyle Kuzma. This is a team with Damian Lillard, Kyle Kuzma, Doc Rivers. They're paying Doc Rivers a significant amount after letting go of Adrian Griffin as well. So essentially paying 2 coaches at once over the last year or so. And Giannis has been playing otherworldly this season. You think about MVP candidates, he's right up there with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Nikola Jokic. But he made those comments a couple years ago about failure and what failure means for the Bucks. In a lot of ways, this is championship or Eastern Conference Finals. They haven't reached that plateau ever since they won the championship in 2021. They've gotten bounced early in the playoffs, and so they do need to get back to that level to show Giannis that they're building something sustainable, building something long term.
Yeah, no crap, Shams. No, I mean like. I think that's news. I think you are a Pollyanna head in the sand Bucks fan if you believe that Giannis is hanging around for a rebuild. The Bucks got to do something this postseason, and I will not fault Giannis at all. I will say if they fall short of the Eastern Conference Finals, I'm not going to be very upset. But if they fall short of if they lose in the first round, yeah, Giannis should ask to get out. You also should ask your financial advisor if they're a fiduciary like Canopy Wealth Management, because the folks at Canopy Wealth Management, they take the time to make sure that they're not putting you in commission-backed gimmicks, different instruments to chase single-day returns and put your long-term goals at risk. The team at Canopy creates strategies that are tailored to your needs and goals. Canopy Wealth Management, care, competence, and clarity aren't just buzzwords. They're a promise. Go to canopy-wealth.com to get started with them today. That's canopy-wealth.com. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly. Mark Tauscher coming up next.
You're listening to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light. Also brought to you by J&K Security Solutions, securing homes and businesses in the Madison area since 1987.
Outside In. That's what we call our Outdoor Living Unlimited showroom at 2018 South Stoughton Road. All the cool stuff you want outside in your yard displayed inside. Patios, decks, pavers, and an automated pergola, fire pit, outdoor kitchen, a putting green, and in-ground pool. Even a converting 3-season room that's either outside or inside. We are Outdoor Living Unlimited. Your outdoor living potential awaits you at our Outside In showroom, 2018 South Stoughton Road. OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com.
Your Honda gets you everywhere. When it needs service, you need Zimbrick Honda service. Their customer service is second to none, and you can experience it for yourself at 2 convenient Madison service locations on Fish Hatchery Road and Grand Canyon Drive. From simple maintenance to expert repairs, Honda certified technicians handle it all. Stop in for an express oil change at Fish Hatchery Road on Saturdays. No appointment necessary. Part of the Madison community since 1973. Shop local. Shop Zimbrick Honda.
UW Credit Union presents the Prep Mania Student Athlete of the Week, supporting local student athletes as they grow on the field, in the classroom, and in the community. UW Credit Union is here for every you. Learn more at uwcu.org. Here's Dennis Semrau with the UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week.
Our ESPN Madison UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week, Jocelyn Brabender from Wisconsin Heights High School. Welcome, Jocelyn.
Thank you. I'm very honored to be able to do this.
You're a Maze Maney resident? What's it like the 2 communities into one, Black Earth and Mazo, at Wisconsin Heights?
I think it's very nice just having 2 small communities coming together, just knowing everybody and being very close.
Who's had the biggest influence on you as a student?
My friends have been a big influence, just like pushing me to be me. And I think my basketball coach, Mr. Fuchs, has influenced me. He's honestly made me better as a basketball player. He's pushed me, he talks to me. He knows I get frustrated very easily. And I think he's just made me into a better basketball player and person.
From color-changing alexandrite to shimmering zircon and everything in between at Chalmers Jewelers, you'll find high-quality, affordable, one-of-a-kind pieces. We source straight from the gem cutters, and we manufacture in-house from start to finish. As the manufacturer, we believe in truth in pricing. Never pay more for quality and stunning, beautiful jewelry. She's one of a kind, and so should her jewelry be. While others may send your jewelry dreams to someone else to make, with us, your dreams become reality with the help of our custom jewelers, with you involved the whole way. With a staff that has over 200 years of combined experience, why buy from a place that marks up jewelry made by the thousands? When you can buy direct from Chalmers for that one-of-a-kind piece that is better quality, often for less.
Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton
and Madison.
Introducing the newest carbless flavor, Mango Vodka. Flavored with the essence of the ripest, freshest mangoes, carbless mango vodka will transport your taste buds to a sunny beach getaway. New flavor, still the same carbless crafted cocktails with 0 carbs, 0 sugars, and only 100 calories. Enjoy a refreshing vodka cocktail without the guilt. 4-packs of the new carbless mango vodka cocktail are available in stores near you. Find your bliss today at drinkcarbless.com and escape with every sip.
When it comes to security for your home and family, you want a winner, and we found one when we placed our trust with J&K Security Solutions. This is Greg Gard. Kim and Jeff hit the game-winning shot for us with the Control 4 home technology system. Home or away, from our smartphones, we can open the garage door, dim the lights, turn on the TV, as well as arm the security system. That's convenience as well as peace of mind. Let J&K Security Solutions do for your home or business like they've done for us. Call 255-5799 or online at jksecurity.com.
Green Bay Hall of Famer Mark Tauscher on Jim, Matt, and Molly is brought to you by Chalmers Jewelers. Chalmers Jewelers, with locations in Middleton and downtown Madison.
What did you call yourself, Thundercat? Well, I appreciate it, Thunder.
Green Bay Packers Hall of Famer
Matt Hamilton. Help me out. Who is that?
Wisconsin football analyst.
You know what? It feels like Molly's the only one that's being sincere about that. So, Molly, I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Mark Tauscher on Jim, Matt, and Molly is brought to you by Chalmers Jewelers. Chalmers Jewelers, with locations in Middleton and downtown Madison.
We are thrilled to be joined by Packer Hall of Famer Mark Tauscher, presented by Chalmers Jewelers, here on Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light. I'm Jim Rutledge alongside Alex G. And Mark, we're starting to show the hard-hitting question, which is, are you more of a quarter zip guy or full zip when it comes to your shirts there? Yeah.
Yeah, I would probably go quarter zip, but hoodie. If I could, a hoodie no zip is probably the way I would go if I could pick.
Okay, yeah. See, I would go. I like the quarter. I only heard part of your answer because Ryan decided to talk in my ear while you were talking. So I only
it
heard
was a
some.
relevant topic, Jim. That's why.
You're wearing a quarter zip in the video or in your picture on the video stream, Mark. I mean, that's pretty exciting,
the
right?
ESPN Madison YouTube stream, yes.
Is that right? Yeah, I try to rep ESPN Madison as much as I can, so that makes sense.
Yeah, I just full zip. I just feel like I'm wearing a jacket, and then if I'm wearing a jacket, then it's. Then do I need the jacket? It just feels it feels off. Quarter zip, I feel a little semi-professional with it. Mark, to the Packers side of things here, I guess Ryan has kind of accumulated some odds from ESPN Bet and a few other places as far as the teams most likely to land Myles Garrett. The Packers not on that list, but I was going to ask you, and I'm going to leave one of the names off because it's not going to concern you, but basically, which one of these teams in the NFC would be the biggest concern to you if Myles Garrett landed on that team? Washington, Philadelphia, or Detroit?
Detroit. Detroit right now is the team. I know Philadelphia just won a championship. Philadelphia is going to be good and great without Myles Garrett. They're going to lose some guys. But Detroit, to me, if you bring Hutchinson back and if he's healthy and that defense gets healthy, I know they obviously lost both coordinators, but everything has to start with Green Bay's number one mission has to be getting back to winning the division. And if Detroit can upgrade and get in a position where they're making their roster better, especially on the defensive line, that would be the most concerning thing to me as a Packer fan.
So winning the division, and the thing is, I as a young Packer fan in a lot of ways, right? I hardly even think of winning the division as the most important thing because once you get into the playoffs, anything can happen. What's the importance of just outright winning the division when your division is maybe the most difficult in football?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of reasons. You get a home game. Yeah, you can't be the number one seed. You want to take care of that part of your business first because you're going to play 6 games in there. And typically, if you go like Green Bay did this year, 1-5, and potentially almost 0-6 if Carl Brooks doesn't block that kick, you're kind of showing that you're not where you need to be. So, yes, you can sneak into a playoff and you don't need to win the division, but I would bet, and you can go back and look at this. I'm not going to look this up, but I would bet of the, however many 59 Super Bowl winners, very few have come via the wild card route when it comes overall percentage. Not to say it can't. I know we did that in 2010. We've seen that with other teams. But if you don't take care of your own division, the odds of analytics tell you that it's going to be that much more of a difficult road. And when everything has to kind of fall your way to win in the playoffs, that's a great starting point to try and get that done.
Obviously, Myles Garrett is one of those players that is maybe on the field to the Reggie White level. The Reggie White off the field and indications and all of that for the Packers is really never going to be matched. The Packers are never going to be in that situation again where they're going to have to prove that it's a destination for free agents. So, but impactfully, Myles Garrett could be that. There's another way the Packers could go. They added Josh Jacobs, David McKinney in free agency this last year. You also could add, there's Khalil Mack, there's Cooper Kupp. Do you think the Packers are more likely to maybe add a few solid vets that have a little bit left in the tank on lower risk deals if they can get them instead of spending draft capital and dollars, even though the salary cap continues to go up?
Yeah, I don't think you're going to see a ton. If Green Bay does something, I look at this as you're going to get one big play. And I know the salary cap went up and everybody is excited about that. I think you have one big play to make, and it's not going to be via giving up a ton of draft picks. It's going to be more along the lines of guys that get cut, or if you saw last year where they went and got some younger players that were available, which probably shouldn't have been available, but it was just a mismanagement by the opposing teams. You go ahead and pounce on that. I don't think that's going to be the case. So it looks to me like I think you're going to take one big swing, and after that, you're going to look at it and see there's going to be some other younger free agents that maybe won't be as as expensive, and that's the road that I would think you're going to see this group go down.
So if you're expecting the Packers to take one big swing, which it feels hard for me to believe that they're going to try and make a splash free agent signing in some way, but do you think that it's more likely to be at that wide receiver position with a Cooper Kupp, a Devontae Adams, whoever it ends up being, T. Higgins, or on the defensive side, whether it's going to be Myles Garrett or one of these edge rushers, or even perhaps a cornerback now that Jair's likely done here?
Yeah, I think it's going to be more along the lines of a D lineman that you're going to see. I think it's an interesting question. I don't necessarily. I don't think you're going to see a lot of things given up over the course of it. It's going to be you're going to go make a play, and then you're going to go look for other people that are going to be doing it.
The Badgers have added a new GM on the football side of things, and I wanted to get your thoughts on that. And that's Marcus Sedbury, Dr. Marcus Sedbury. And I'm going to give him you got the doctor, you get the doctor. But it is an interesting hire. I like it just from he seems to fit the mold of what some of the other schools, Alabama, even if the non-big hire splashes. But Andrew Luck, his dad was an AD. Andrew Luck is a very cerebral guy. It is more of an administrative job than I think people realize, and maybe even the Badgers realized the first time they had someone in this role. I mean, you look at Ron Rivera. Well, he ran a football team on the from coaching side of things. So having someone in here with Sedbury, who was a MAC hire before Fickle, but has a relationship with Fickle, I think this is a step in the right direction for the Badgers understanding what this GM job will be for them.
Well, we certainly hope so, and I think Marcus, he's been around Doctor.
Yeah.
He's been around the team on a bunch. So the relationship with Luke Fickle obviously is huge, and then it's not as if it's going to be, all right, Marcus, go pick up all these players. It's going to be, all right, how do you manage everything? And I think your point on having all of the logistics and having all of that stuff kind of taken care of to try and what you're trying to do is find ways to take more of a burden off of the coaches, let them coach, and let personnel people, let the organizers kind of handle all of that, and then you let these guys just go coach. So it's always going to be about player acquisition. It's now college football, that is what it's become, but it's still the development of those players. And I think when you can bring someone in that has an institutional knowledge of what we do, how we do it, and if you can organize that and get it so the coaches can just coach ball, they can take a little bit off their plate, I think you're looking at that as a win.
I wanted to talk Badger basketball with you for a second. We talked with Nolan Winter today. He joins the Jump Around every Thursday at 1 o'clock. The Jump Around is at 12:30, but he joins us going forward through the end of Badger basketball season. I think we all are getting excited that could extend deeper into the tournament than we've seen in nearly a decade. And one of the guys that people should be excited about is John Tonje, and he was voted the number one transfer in all college basketball. Chucky Hepburn was 8. But when you watch this team, John Tonje, to me, has a very strong case to be the best recruit under the Greg Gard era. I know it'll only be a one and done, but John Tonje has an opportunity, especially if this team makes a run, to be the greatest recruit that has been recruited solely by the Greg Gard coaching staff because they haven't gone to the Sweet 16 since 2016.
I mean, Johnny Davis is pretty good, but I get your point. And this, when you look at this thing, big picture, there's this whole story is yet to be written. You've had a lot of success with Greg Gard. You won a conference championship. Unfortunately, I think that was the COVID year where you were unable to go and play in the tournament. But this is all about the tournament. So John Tonje has been everything. When Greg Gard joined us this morning, he didn't expect this to be this great. He didn't expect him to have this big of an impact, and now you do. He is a veteran player. You just hope that he can perform at that high of a level when you get to the tournament. And then if all of a sudden he's doing that and this team makes a run, and if they make a Final Four or even better, win a championship, nobody's going to argue with you, Jim. As much as you love arguing with people, nobody will argue with that.
All right, I know that
people like me.
The national championship run seems, still far away, especially considering some of the struggles earlier. But I know Jim and myself and a lot of us have been a little hesitant to really believe that this is the kind of team that can make the Sweet 16, Elite 8, so on and so forth.
I'm on the Sweet 16.
You are.
Yes.
Why do you guys feel that way?
Okay,
because they haven't. Sweet 16 for me because they haven't done it.
Can you help convince us that this is something that can happen? That this is the kind of team that can make a run?
Don't lump me
No.
into it.
But you are the one saying it. You've been fighting me all week on that.
Yeah. All right, I'll let you guys fight after I get off. You have two bigs. You can score multiple ways. That the college basketball is not about scoring. And yes, it would be great if we had lockdown and we could defend and do even better than what we do. But this offense, I just saw something that Wisconsin basketball tweeted out. The amount of 90-point games, 3 in the last 13 compared to 3 in the, I think, a 500-game stretch before that. So offensively, this team is just multiple. They have numerous ways to score, and that's what this is about. You have strong guard play. You have a deep team. You're versatile. There is a lot to love about what this group can do, and it's not one guy. I know John Tonje is getting a ton of love, and he has been awesome, but there's multiple ways these guys score, and different guys are stepping up. So you don't have to believe, and that's fine. I'm not sitting here telling you need to, but I'm just saying this just has a different vibe. Even with last year, what you saw with Storr and with Chucky, it's just different. It was more dependent on those guys. You're dependent on Tonje, but you've won games where he hasn't went off like he has the last couple weeks.
Yeah, and mine's more of for me, Sweet 16, I will be thrilled, and that's my expectation for this team. I'm just fool me once, fool me twice. I know every team's different, but I just got to see him do it with Greg Gard. It has been a long time.
Skeptical. You know what? Skepticism's great. I think it's good, and it motivates guys when you have media and everybody else being skeptical. So, listen, man, it's hard. We all know it's hard to win. It's hard to get to Sweet 16s. It's hard to win Final Fours. It's hard to do that. It just feels like this team's a little bit different than what we've seen in the past.
And every game, I'm getting closer to that because since we've had this last conversation, Alex, they've beaten Purdue and Illinois. So, I am getting more and more into that situation.
Come on, Jimmy, come on in, baby. The water's warm. Let's go.
Yeah, the thing I most like about this team, and I wanted to see if this could apply to Badger football, is they're old. Klesmit is going to be is close to 23, Tonje 24, and then you have Kroll's older. So I remember San Diego State, and I joked that they were all 25 years old when they beat FAU a few years ago. Honestly, at this point, I would say Wisconsin, whether it's football or basketball, start recruiting some older guys because I don't care what they do in the pros. I don't care if Tonje isn't an NBA prospect. I care that he is an old man playing against teenagers because in college basketball specifically, the best players, as far as guys who are going to go play in the pros, they're teenagers. And then these teenagers are going against grown men like Tonje, and in those situations, I'll take the grown men. So I think Gard, and maybe this applies to football, should be looking for the older guys because I think that's maybe the money ball approach to this transfer portal.
I'm a man. I'm 40.
Jimmy, I'm going to leave you with this, and I can't believe I'm saying this.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
Nice. All right, Mark's got to go. Thanks, Mark. I lost track of time there. He's got a hard out at 4:30. So thank you, Mark.
All right, see you guys.
See ya. Brought to you by Chalmers Jewelers in Madison and in Middleton. I'm pro olds at this point. The old man strength sort of thing. Think about it. Tonje is basically 24 years old, and Klesmit's not quite basically. If you go with the prime time with he's more than 22 and a half. He's like 22. I think he turns 23.
He's 22 and 3/4.
Yeah, like
three quarters.
Late May, early June classmate. So
just down to the belly button. That's
basically. I don't know what that means. All right, so when you get to the team here, like the olds help, especially for basketball. This is my new thing that I'm honing in on because I'm having a hard time wrapping my brain around because back in the day you'd see like Rutgers or a team like Rutgers has 2 top 10 picks. Like back in the day, those guys would dominate, but they're playing youngsters with other young players on Rutgers, so it's not cohesive. It doesn't work well together. Now, in college basketball for the tournament side of it, which again goes back to these are almost 2 different sports at this point.
Right.
When you got old men, for all intents and purposes, 25-year-olds playing against teenagers, I mean that is a bigger difference than you and I physically. When you got a 25-year-old playing against a 19-year-old, that is a dramatic difference. They
certainly can be.
Babies at 19. So 25, that's a grown man. John Tanjay should be collecting an NBA check or working in a 9-to-5, a finance job. And we've seen this. Who was the guy from Wisconsin? Was it Oakland, Michigan? The older guy was
Jack Golke.
He was 47 years old, just knocking down threes.
Hey, he's with the Wisconsin Herd now, all right? Put some respect.
I think he's 26 now, maybe.
Probably, yeah.
I bet you he's 27. I feel like he was 25 when he played.
He might have had 2 or 3 years at D2, D3, and then got to Oakland University in Detroit.
Because he was part of the COVID sort of
yes,
then
exactly.
people were playing forever.
Yeah.
He just turned 25 December 3rd.
Yeah, right. Old man there.
He's younger than me?
Yes.
Yeah. But you're not trying to play again. Again, it's like if I'm trying to produce against someone who's coming in day one out of college trying to produce here. Prime's already.
He versus Chrissy Birdsall, his twin from yesterday, wearing the red quarter zip.
I was going to say, yeah, look at my age. I'm showing it with my Mr. Rogers full
Whoa.
zip.
Yeah, so my whole thing is now let's.
Hey, I really like
for
that.
Recruiting.
I think that's really good because you don't know the difference of somebody coming in from high school where they were the best player that they encountered, full stop period, versus somebody who went to college, maybe struggled at first, got their feet under them. You get them for 2 years, maybe they're less likely to just up and leave if they're older, and this is the best place they can end up. That's fantastic.
I don't even care about. Again, I'm under the stance that every year is in its own silo. Every one of these Badger players could be gone next year. My optimism for that is that Greg Gard showed us once. So on the flip side, he hasn't shown me they can get to the Sweet 16 in a while. He has shown me this last year he can build a roster on the fly. So if they all leave, I trust them to build another good roster. It's Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light.
You're listening live from St. John's, Newfoundland. The Newfies love Jim, Matt, and Molly. 100.5 ESPN Madison.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
James Imaging Systems, a 100% locally owned and managed Wisconsin business technology company. 20-year James client Daniel Bertelson, CEO at RE/MAX Preferred.
Reliability and consistency are the key to any successful business, and for our networking and digital solutions, they've been that right along with us for all these years.
Local reliability and consistency has also had a positive impact for Baker Manufacturing. Purchasing Manager Jennifer Wilger.
It helps keep us efficient and productive, and we can keep our minds on what's really important, and that's taking care of our customers.
And Josh Gavel, Service Manager with Kirsch Appliance, also depends on the reliability and consistency of local service from James Imaging Systems.
Yeah, you get somebody that knows what they're doing, come in here and get it done in 5 minutes, and we're not having to take our time to do it.
Go with local. Go with James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner. Call 608-221-3457 or visit jamesimaging.com.
Look, we all know that as we age, our bodies change, but Carbon World Health can help. They have a process of testosterone replacement therapy that includes a diagnostic exam and blood tests to assess your hormone levels to make sure that they are optimal for you, not optimal for your age. Carbon World Health can help you increase your energy, focus, and overall health with their approach to hormone therapy. It's all about quality of life for you. Learn more at carbonworldhealth.com.
The host might be irrelevant, but the conversations aren't.
By moving Chris Middleton and adding Kyle Kuzma, if you got better, it was by a very, very thin margin, right? You did not get significantly better today.
Mr. Irrelevant with Alex Strofe.
But the other big question I think a lot of people are asking, rightfully so, is how's Giannis feel?
Mr. Irrelevant with Alex Strofe. Live on ESPN Madison's YouTube every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And available wherever you get your podcasts.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer. Our policy is to provide equal opportunity employment, development, and advancement to all current and potential teammates. If you are an organization that maintains a job bank, provides employment information, or gives job referrals, you may request to be placed on the station's mailing list for future career opportunities. To learn more about careers at Good Karma Brands, please email careers@goodkarmabrands.com.
Since 1956, Holman Lindsay Paints has been making paint in Wisconsin for Wisconsin. Because of their commitment to making great paint for Wisconsinites, Holman Lindsay has grown over the years to 26 locations in this great state. Headquarters in Sun Prairie with a state-of-the-art facility, Holman Lindsay has the paint you need to make your job better. From do-it-yourself to professional, Holman Lindsay has paint for everyone. Visit one of their local locations today in Madison, Sun Prairie, Middleton, and Janesville.
Welcome back to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Metro Kia Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealership.
Jim, Matt, and Molly continues live from the Everlight Solar Studio. I'm Jim Rutledge. Molly Brown out with babies. Matt Hamilton curling. Alex G with me. Primetime Orshawn behind the glass. You can see us in the ESPN Madison YouTube stream as well. And we asked Mark Tauscher this question, and I want to get it out there as our Siding Unlimited poll question here. So Primetime has put together a composite of the 4 most likely teams to land Myles Garrett according to betting odds. And the 4 teams are the Commanders, Eagles, Lions, and Bears. And if I read the odds correctly, in descending order, it would be Bears, Lions, Eagles, Commanders. Is that right?
In descending order.
Yes.
What, descending towards the lowest odds,
yes.
but the best chance to land.
Right.
So of the 4 teams, the Bears are the least likely to get
The Bears
ahead.
are the least likely, the Commanders are the most likely, followed by the Eagles, and then the Lions.
Yes. So,
yes. And these are amongst the NFC teams
right.
that
So
are most likely
I want to
land
ask
them.
you, our Siding Unlimited poll question, which one of those 4 teams do you not want Myles Garrett to go to? 844-770-3776. That's the Carbless Talking text line. List is more. Which one of those 4 teams, the Commanders, Eagles, Lions, and Bears, do you not want Myles Garrett to go to? I honestly, I think there's a case for all. Obviously, the Commanders, Eagles, and Lions, it's more of they're in front of you, and they get further in front of you if Myles Garrett is added to that team. But I would say, I know Tauscher said the Lions. If I'm a Packers fan, I'm afraid of the Commanders.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing, and this is where I thought you were going to be standing. The Commanders, as it stands, are drafting after the Green Bay Packers. They did better in the postseason. They had the better season. They did better in the regular season. But if they go out and make this move and they couple their guy, Jaden Daniels, with Myles Garrett, suddenly they have their Patrick Mahomes and Chris Jones, right? Like that is something that you cannot top. If the Packers do it, maybe they have that. That's what they want to have, but they don't quite have with what they have on the defensive line right now, which is just absolutely nothing. So I'm worried about the Commanders because I think that could create, should Jaden Daniels be who he showed that he can be, that creates a Patrick Mahomes Chiefs in the NFC, which just becomes too much to overcome.
Chiefs win.
I don't think the Eagles are that team because I think that they're going to be a little bit more ebb and flow coming and going. I don't think that...
What do you mean by going? Because they've made the playoffs, multiple years in a row, and they've gone to the Super Bowl 2 out of the last 3 years and then won it.
Right. Well,
so they're there.
No, so they're
not flowing out of the playoffs.
They're going to drop. They had a tough second half of last year, and the way that their cap is built, they're going to be making pushes and then receding, just like what happened with the Rams.
Last year was not a cap issue; it was a coaching staff falling apart issue. So, because it's one of those things like Philadelphia. I think we have this weird idea of we have this boom or bust. Like San Francisco. San Francisco, yes, every once in a while falls backwards. Those high-leverage teams, I guess, Alex, my point is, with a high-leverage team like Philadelphia, they're only falling backwards if they get a few key injuries that go wrong. Because, yes, they're not super deep in theory, but they also have drafted incredibly well. I think of their top 3 defensive players. Zach Bond's going to get paid, not assuming they're going to pay him, but DeJean, Mitchell, and Carter, they're all young.
Yeah.
And so, they're all players. They're probably going to lose Sweat, but if they replace Sweat with Garrett, they get more leveraged, but they've been drafting so well that they are still in pretty good shape.
I'm looking at it at a longer situation here, right? Like when they won the Super Bowl in 2017, then they lost in the divisional, they lost in the wild card, they missed, they lost in the wild card, they lose in the Super Bowl, lose in the wild card.
That's a lot of playoffs.
They're in the middle of one of their pushes is my read on the situation. I'm not saying that I imagine that they won't be a perennial Super Bowl contender every year, that they don't have the quarterback to do that.
Because over the last few years, they've gone to the playoffs as much as the Packers have.
Yes.
And more, or as many NFC Championship games over the last 5 years, if not more. They've gone to 2 of them. They've won 1 of them. They went to the Super Bowl. They missed the playoffs once, just off your list there. So, that's kind of the Packers.
Right, yes. And so I'm
but
looking
they've
at
won.
So I'm saying I don't think that Myles Garrett is going to make them that much better in this exact place. They're fantastic at defensive line already.
Who's throwing the ball against them? But they're losing Josh Sweat. So he'd be a replacement. I would assume they're going to lose Josh Sweat.
Okay, and if they lose Josh Sweat, they make a huge upgrade in getting Myles Garrett. But again, they're going to recede at some point. I don't see Jalen Hurts being the stalwart quarterback that can carry the team to championships.
He's been more consistent and a better winner than Jordan Love. But you believe Jordan Love's that guy?
No, I'm not saying that Jordan Love alone can carry a team to Super Bowls.
Okay, but then why does Jalen have to do it?
Well, I'm not saying
but you're saying you don't.
I'm
believe
not saying
in
the
Jalen
Green Bay
Hurts.
Packers are going to be a Super Bowl contender every year.
Yeah, but
I'm saying that these two teams are fairly similar in that.
I think Philadelphia and Green Bay are not peers right now. Green Bay is not as good as Philadelphia.
Which team would improve more if they ended Myles Garrett?
No, that's a different question. If you're going with the biggest, true, but the biggest improvement out of this list would be the Chicago Bears. They have an abysmal pass rush, and if you put Myles Garrett,
they're not a great team.
But can Myles Garrett play offensive line for the Bears?
Well, they have 3 picks in the first 40. They can make some drafts. They also have a ungodly amount of cap space.
True.
Okay.
So they're going to spend a lot of money. Again, we don't know what the Bears are going to be. They were a team that people picked to do better last year. Their coaching staff was a disaster. They had 3 offensive coordinators, 2 head coaches, and the team basically was infighting throughout. Eberflus lost the team. First time ever a coach has been fired. So despite all that, there's still things to get out of it. The Bears are more of a, you don't know what's going to be. But if you add a guy like Myles Garrett, that's not like a question. That's like when
Khalil Herbert came, or Khalil Mack came
Khalil
to the Bears.
Herbert.
Yeah.
Khalil Herbert, for sure.
So
that was
for the example, and I'm not saying this will happen, and this is not even a great scenario because it didn't sustain for the Bears. Matt Nagy came in, Mitch Trubisky's second year. Trubisky jumps up, makes a Pro Bowl. You know what they do right before the season starts?
Yeah.
What do they do right before the season starts? They add Khalil Mack.
Mm-hmm.
They go win the division, and Parkey misses the field goal. But my point is, for a one, they jumped everyone. And so I'm not saying that that's a one-off deal, but one guy, Khalil Mack, took that defense from good to a defense that could carry that team into the playoffs. Look at Philadelphia. That defensive line.
They also got a guy who ran for 2,000 yards. That's not going to happen again.
I'm talking, but again, you don't think Barkley can do 2,000 again?
I would be impressed. It doesn't happen.
I just funny, you're just...
I think
fan,
he's still going to be great.
Everything for Philadelphia is going to get worse, but then the Packers are going to get better?
I've never said that once.
Okay, so the Packers are what?
The Packers are probably going to be in a similar space that they are right now in a very competitive division.
But the Eagles will not be?
No, they will be in a similar space. I'm saying their push is happening. It's there.
But I would make a case that DeJean and Mitchell are going to be better. Carter will be better because they're still in their prime, aging into getting to be better players.
Sure.
Jalen Hurts is hitting his prime. Barkley, for all the yards he gained, still didn't feel like he was overused.
That I needed to look into. I don't know how many touches he had. I know that there's something about DeMarco Murray from his time in Dallas. He had 350 touches every time someone crosses that threshold.
Touches because Josh Jacobs is going to fall off a cliff because that dude has been that guy carries the ball way too much.
Genuinely and truly, that was one of my worries when they went out and got him.
And that could happen. That honestly, if I was betting money, I'm betting more money on Josh Jacobs crashing more than I am Saquon Barkley because Josh Jacobs, go look at his carries. I mean, it is heavy. all the time, even I think into college.
I am higher now on him than I have been ever before, but he has always been inefficient and always been just a guy to ram into the defensive line and fall forward. He does a really good job of that, but it is troubling and worrying that eventually the wheels are going to fall off and he's going to get injured.
Okay.
That's why his contract is structured the way it is.
Well, we talked about this. 4.4 yards per carry is like 12th or 13th. Like that's not elite running back there, but he's a very good runner. I mean, but 300 carries. So the last time he had to your point, he had 340 carries, and then he was hurt and got 233 the following year.
Yeah,
every time he's had a massive carry year, he falls off.
One more question.
273 to 217.
Gee, you said at one point that you felt like the Packers and the Eagles were kind of in the same spot, like where they are as teams right now?
No. I was talking about the Commanders.
Packers and the Commanders.
Yes.
Okay. So
I don't want to see the Commanders become one of those teams that is just impossible to pass.
I was also going to ask, like, does adding Myles Garrett to the Commanders, the Packers, probably not the Lions because I think they're in the Eagles tier, but does that move the Commanders or the Packers into the Eagles tier as like the number one or tied for the number one Super Bowl contender next year?
Right. If we didn't have, I just want to take one step back. If we didn't have what we've seen from the Kansas City Chiefs so far, where they just consistently win and they find a way to win no matter what and go to the Super Bowl, we would look at it, just the regular seasons, it is the Baltimore Ravens, the Chiefs, and the Bills. Those are the three teams. Right now, there's a very real chance, should the Commanders land Myles Garrett, that they suddenly become one of those three teams in the NFC, the other two being the Eagles and the Lions. I think there's a chance. It's not a great one. The Packers could become one of those teams, and they can't afford to let somebody else jump them in that kind of consistent way.
844-770-3776. That's the Cardinals Talking text line. List is more. We are asking you which one of the four NFC teams that have the best odds to land Myles Garrett would worry you the most as a Packers fan. The Commanders, Eagles, Lions, and Bears. Here's the thing. Commanders, Eagles, Lions, all better than the Packers as we enter the offseason. And so now, to your point, do they separate? And now, if Chicago added Garrett, I think that they would be a team that would be behind the Packers, but like nipping at their heels. They would still be a team behind it, but as we just saw with Philadelphia, a pass rush and a good defense can elevate a team. Short-term success is different than long-term success. To have long-term success, you need to have consistent quarterback play. Jared Goff, what Jordan Love is doing, like to be those sorts of players. If to have a good one-off year, you don't have to be elite to go to Brock Purdy. I don't know what we decide him. I don't know what we think of him, but he had a great defense and some playmakers around him. So Myles Garrett, that defense in Chicago would get exponentially better. Now, that would not make him better than the Packers, but that would close that gap. And now the Packers could close the gap on Washington, Philadelphia, and the Lions by adding Garrett. But to your point, those teams could really blow up the gap between the Packers and them if they add Myles Garrett.
And there's a lot to like about Washington. I think that there's a chance that they regress just like the Packers did last year, right? From one year to another. But they have a lot of proven pieces, Terry McLaurin and Jaden Daniels. We don't know exactly
what is your case for regression? Just assumption?
Yeah.
Okay.
Teams, it happens.
Okay, but
one point for G there is that they had a ton of free agents who came in and made immediate impacts. A lot of aging free agents. Guys like that tend to fall off after 1 or 2 years.
I agree. And Dan Quinn, I like Kingsbury as their offensive coordinator, but Dan Quinn, I don't know if I view him as like some sort of great coach. And so I don't like we worried about Mahomes. Like it's not Andy Reid. And so like I think Dan Quinn is more of a Dan Campbell type.
Yeah.
Kingsbury's there. Jaden Daniels. Here's my thing with Jaden Daniels. It's if you're betting on someone to make a jump, it is the guy as a rookie into their second year. More than like if you're betting on jumps, you'd bet on Jaden Daniels making a jump over Jordan Love. Because Jordan Love has been with the Packers now for 5 full seasons. And so you're kind of, again, he's only started 2, but it's still more than Jaden Daniels has started. Jaden Daniels has not started a ton in the NFL, and there could be a big jump. C.J. Stroud, though, didn't make a major jump as a rookie to a sophomore. And then also, oh, by the way, Jaden Daniels and Bo Nix, both those quarterbacks, started more college games than most traditional rookies. So they might be further cooked to their final product than we know. Like what we saw to Jaden Daniels, who is a really good quarterback, that might be what he is, again, marginally better. We might not see some level jump from him that you might see from Drake May or other quarterbacks who are younger, who had less starts in their career. Much like C.J. Stroud had a good amount of starts at Ohio State. He didn't jump from year 1 to year 2. He maintained, which is hard to do as well. So you're right. I don't know what Daniels is going to be. Jalen Hurts, I think you know what he is. I think the Lions, you know what he is, what Jared Goff is. I just think to your point on the Commanders, their roster is the least complete in front of those teams.
Right.
Philadelphia and Detroit, in my opinion, have really loaded rosters.
I mean, and if you look at it just at the defense of the Commanders, which was opportunistic, it wasn't incredible from what I remember, but it was not bad by any means.
It's coached by a defensive coach, so it's going to be solid. Yeah.
Marshawn Lattimore, Bobby Wagner, those two in particular really jump off the page as guys who've been around and really are awesome and have been awesome.
Marshawn Lattimore knows how to do? Fight everyone he sees.
Absolutely. That's fantastic.
And then you see how do they fill in the draft here? Well, they're going to continue to draft well. They'll have they'll have draft picks. They can fill in some guys.
The one thing that I will say that there's absolutely no way that you can take it away. Jaden Daniels, winner, 5 game-winning drives in his rookie year is insane.
You can't
Jordan
take
Love
it away.
does not have that.
Sure, you can't take it away, but then you also could say well, maybe that just evens out.
Right. It could. It very well could.
Unless Tyreek Stevenson's on the other team every time. That is one of the game-winning drives, by the way.
Don't get me started, because you know who had a game-winning drive in that game? Caleb. And then Tyreek Stevenson let it go. You know who had a game-winning drive against the Packers? Caleb. And then the Bears can't block Carl Brooks. So,
absolutely,
yes, that happens.
That was scouting game.
But Jaden Daniels, that's not scouting Caleb. But Jaden Daniels, to your point, next year, some of those things just don't break their way.
Yes.
And then now all of a sudden, instead of having all those late comebacks, I remember, and I know we got to get the break here, Aaron Rodgers. I believe it was 4 or 5 games his rookie season that he got the team a score in the fourth quarter, and I think maybe 3 of those where it was late in the fourth quarter that he led a fourth quarter comeback, and then the defense gave it up.
I mean, and it happened in the playoffs a lot too, right? Like, does he need to do better in terms of, clock management and all that? Yeah, there are times that he was the problem, but he put the team in a chance to succeed.
But I'm talking
young
Aaron Rodgers. Yeah. I'm just talking to young Aaron Rodgers. Like, there was initially, it's like, oh, he can't get it done. That evened out over time. He did get it done over time.
Right.
It was just because of the defense around him. I'm going to give away a case of High Life. What number am I doing here?
Packers have the 7th best odds currently, based off the amalgamation that I found, to land Myles Garrett. So let's go caller number 7.
Caller number 7 wins a case of High Life, 844-770-3776. Caller number 7 wins a case of High Life, 844-770-3776.
You're listening to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN, ESPN Madison on YouTube, and Wisconsin On Demand. Rah. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Pablo Iglesias.
This Badger Minute brought to you by Starion Bank, with 3 Madison area locations in Middleton, Sun Prairie, and Monona. Starion Bank is here investing in your community. Start your experience at starionbank.com. Member FDIC. More national recognition. John Tonje named the top transfer in ESPN's power rankings of men's basketball transfers this season. His teammate Nolan Winter backing him up. Winter's words during his appearance on the Jump Around digital show.
He's one of the more humble dudes I've ever been around, and he just wants what's best for the team and what's best for us. So it's been a blessing to be able to play with him and just see what kind of he brings to the locker room, just a sense of maturity. And then obviously we've seen what he's done on the court.
Hear from Nolan Winter every week on the Jump Around Thursdays at 1 on ESPN Madison's YouTube channel.
Get 0% interest for up to 6 years at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Our team installs year-round, so why wait? Set your free in-home consultation today at PellaWI.com.
If you're looking for a special piece of jewelry for any occasion, Condon Jewelers is always there for you. Condon Jewelers has the best selection of jewelry you'll ever find and guaranteed to have the lowest prices in the Madison area. Free shipping is always available. Visit CondonJeweler.com or call 241-3406 and ask for Jim, the owner, who's at the store every day. Shop locally. Condon Jewelers, the jeweler on the east side, the jeweler on your side.
Since J&K Security Solutions opened in 1987, our attention to detail and customer service have been our strongest assets. I'm President Jeffrey Beckman. We'll always do our best to find the most efficient and cost-effective solution to every job we tackle. Whether it's security for your home or business, installing video surveillance, or being able to control your garage doors from your phone, we can help you feel empowered with simple and user-friendly technology. Let's work together to secure your home or business. jksecurity.com.
Drum roll, please.
Carbliss is here with refreshing new flavors. Introducing their Tropical Bliss Variety Pack. Let the summertime flavors of blood orange, watermelon, raspberry, and grapefruit whisk you away from the winter blues. New flavors, same great Carbliss perks. Every handcrafted cocktail still has 0 sugar, 0 carbs, and just 100 calories. Find the Tropical Bliss Variety Pack in store wherever Carbliss is sold and enjoy your winter passport to paradise. Grab a pack today and discover why Bliss is more with Carbliss.
My overall experience with Gruber Law Offices has been phenomenal.
The treatment was excellent.
They will be supportive of you. They will listen to you.
It was a great experience knowing that I had people to help me.
I know I could count on them to do what I needed to get done.
Experience with Gruber was great.
They gave me my life back.
It was amazing.
He gets results.
We know how to win. If you've been injured, call Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Gruber Law Offices had my best interests at heart.
Hold your friends close and your rivals closer on Jim, Matt, and Molly.
Do you think there's a chance that this is strategic by Josh Jacobs? Maybe it creates a little bit of pressure on Goody to be like, hey, not only do the fans want a number one wide receiver, but the players you are paying to play football for you say you're not doing your job because these guys that you drafted, they're good players. They're not Devontae. They're not T. Higgins.
Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light. Weekdays 4 to 6 on 100.5 ESPN.
Join the Madison Money Guy, Christian Finfrock, for Retirement Income Strategies, Saturday and Sunday mornings at 7. Get the information you need as you plan for retirement. That's Retirement Income Strategies, Saturday and Sunday mornings at 7. Investment advisory services offered through Retirement Income Strategies, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
It's a star-studded showdown in the Mile High City. LeBron, Luka, and the Lakers go head-to-head with Nikola Jokic, Jamal Murray, and the Denver Nuggets.
Bang! Luka Doncic!
Coverage begins Saturday at 8 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ABC. Presented by Indeed.
Congrats to Rip and Rona. He's living the high life. He won a case of High Life. And again, thanks to all of you for picking up the High Life. It helped us continue to do this contest here. Because if we gave away High Life and nobody picked it up, folks at the High Life are like, well, we're not doing it anymore. But you guys all come and get it. So we appreciate
who wouldn't
our
come
fans.
get it? It's delicious.
Look, man, we do really well. That's what I was told. We get a very high return rate. And that's a credit to our sales and marketing team as well, that they're making sure that people remember they have the beer here. So congrats to Rip and Rona. Tune into Here District with Marcus Johnson, a weekly pulse on the Milwaukee Bucks, straight from a fan favorite and Bucks legend. A Bucks Plus audio production. Marcus and his son Chris talk about what's going on in the NBA world. This week, NBA reporter Chris Haynes joins Marcus and Chris to discuss his new Behind the Bucks podcast series, The Damian Lillard Story, presented by Gallagher. Stay on the beat of the Bucks and find Here District now on Bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, or wherever you get podcasts. He's Alex G. I am Jim Rutledge, and we are in the Everlight Solar Studios. Jim, Matt, and Molly. Primetime Watershine with us as well. I'm going to ask you guys a quick yes or no question. I know we're a little tight on time here, so I want to move this to the Bucks just for a second. Is Giannis on the team a year from next year's trade deadline?
Yes.
Why?
So here's the thing. If they fizzle out in this playoffs, it's super frustrating, and he has every right to look elsewhere. The amount of infrastructure in worlds that would need to move him is doable for any team, right? They'll want him. I think that he is, and this is just a feeling I get, I think that he is a little bit more loyal than the average NBA superstar. Not a lot, but he is. And he had to have been a part of the okaying of trading away Chris Middleton, which means Bucks ownership was able to say, hey, it might not be for this year, but next year we're going to be able to do things. So we're going to be huge buyers this offseason and next year leading into the trade deadline.
Yeah, so you're talking about words. Is this team, because if they're not a top, if they don't feel like they're a championship team next year at the trade deadline, he's going to ask out.
Oh, then for like,
that's why I asked
think
next year's
true.
trade deadline.
I believe the Bucks, because they're the only team in Wisconsin who's been doing this, are going to be buyers. I think they're going to be working because they got under the cap for next year.
That gets them a mid-level.
Yeah, well, there's going to be having to do work. I don't know the X's and O's of how that all works, but they know what they have, and I don't think the Bucks ownership is like Athanasio from the Brewers.
I give you that. I just think they're just tied up. Like there's not a lot of room to be.
So you do not think he's here? You think he's gone?
Yeah, I don't think they can do anything in the off. They would have to strike lightning in the draft and in the offseason. I don't even know if they have their first-round pick this year, but they have to strike lightning. Prime? You think Giannis a year from next year's trade deadline?
A year
from the trade deadline. So basically, next year at the trade deadline, is he traded or is he on the Bucks?
It depends on how far they go. I can't answer that until I know how far they go in this year's playoffs.
Do you think they're going to go?
Going to happen?
Okay, so then in that case, I would say no. I would say he's not, because I do not think they'll make it. I think Shams is probably right when he says that they have to get to at least the Eastern Conference Finals or the Finals to make Giannis want to stay. I don't think that's going to happen this year. And G brings up a good point. The Bucks could still be a buyer, but I don't know.
It's a mid-level.
Yeah, exactly. So unless they hit some fantastic draft pick or pull Anthony Davis for a Luka Doncic fleece trade, which I don't think is happening anytime soon, I just can't see it.
Because Dame, you'd have to move Dame.
That would be the only real.
And you're not going to get. If you got 60 cents on the dollar, you're worse.
What if they trade Dame and the Warriors are just like, here's Steph?
Again.
But that's what it would have to be, basically. You'd have to upgrade by just like taking advantage of a dumb team.
Here's the dumb trade that probably won't happen is like, I don't think Miami likes Tyler Hero and they like stars. So it's like, hey, give us Dame and we'll get Tyler Hero. And I feel like the Bucks would be fleecing the Heat. And I don't even like Tyler Hero.
Wait, you think a trade straight up for Tyler Hero would be fleecing the Heat?
Dame gets like $55 million a year.
Okay.
Oh, so but if that's the case, then they also need to then you need to make it work. Miami would have to trade a bunch of assets back, and they wouldn't want to do that just for Dame. Is the thing that any move the Bucks have to make, there has to be like.
But I'm just trying to think of a team that
components.
gets a little star crazy, or wants to take like a big what Bradley Beal. You're just gonna end up trading. Like Dame's a distressed asset. He's a good player. He makes so much money. The Bucks can't do anything, and. Yeah, this is just they have the title, so I'm not faulting any of it. And you got the title with Giannis, and you did everything you possibly could to try to repeat that title with Giannis. And so sometimes things don't break your way. So I'm not mad at the Bucks, nor will I be mad at Giannis. But if I'm betting money, I'm sorry. The reason why I roll my eyes at Giannis' more loyal thing is that he's been loyal. He's done it. He has been here. There should be no question at all of Giannis' loyalty. He can be loyal, but not an idiot. And this is his basketball life, and he can look at the Bucks, and especially if he gets them to the trade deadline next year, and look them straight in the eye and go, "I'm over 30. Your roster is not close to winning. I got to go. You don't have a pathway. You drafted babies in the draft. They didn't pan out. You got Dame Lillard, who's a good player, but you got nothing else around him. You can have one mid-level exception. You got me Kuzma, who will be around, but what is?
He's also 29. He's not a young player.
Kuzma, right, I know, but Kuzma, forget the youth. He's still closer to Giannis' age, young enough to win with, but he's not a. He was a step down from Middleton at his prime. He was Kyle Kuzma is a better player than Chris Middleton is now, but that's still far away from what Chris Middleton was when they won a title.
My last thought on that is just, I don't think that there's anything that would be more of a heartbreaking trade away for the state of Wisconsin in my lifetime than that.
Oh, I agree. 844-770-3776. Do you think Giannis will be here next year? It's the Carlos Talking text line. Less is more. It's JM&M, presented by Coors Light.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
This is former Wisconsin linebacker Chris Orr. You're listening to 100.5 ESPN, WTLX, Monona, Madison, a Good Karma Brands radio station on Wisconsin.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
Good afternoon, Madison. I'm Ryan Wollersheim, and this is your Sports Center Update brought to you by Milwaukee Brewers Baseball on ESPN Madison. Listen to every game this season, starting with opening day on March 27th, right here on Madison's new home of Milwaukee Brewers Baseball, 100.5 ESPN. Also catch the Brewers spring training opener this Saturday right here on 100.5 ESPN. That game starts at 2 p.m. as they take on the Cincinnati Reds out there in Arizona. Then looking back at this morning, Greg Gard, Badgers head coach, joining Wilde and Tauscher after their big win against Illinois earlier this week. But Badgers got Oregon coming up at the Kohl Center on Tuesday, and could be seeing that high-flying offense once more. Greg Gard asked about the team's offensive change this offseason while joining Wilde Tauscher.
Well, the brand, regardless of style of play, has always been winning. So that's the brand of basketball that we play. You know, we win a lot, and we have for a long time. So it really was done for every other reason than we really cared what the outside world said.
Listen back to that appearance on Wisconsin On Demand or wherever you get your podcasts. Also, go back on today's ESPN Madison YouTube stream. Watch The Jumper On with Jim Rutledge, Pablo Iglesias, and special guest Nolan Winter, making weekly appearances going forward.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com.
Everybody's ego takes a shot on this show.
You gotta keep your chill with Jim, Matt, and Molly.
I am savage.
So you're not special.
Jim, if we want to play this game, we can play this game.
And I'm just like, oh my God, this guy's gonna swing on Jim. He's a complicated fellow.
People like me.
I don't think so.
This is Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN.
We're learning a lot about each other.
I'm going to match your energy, and if you're going to bring false titles, I'll bring false titles.
Your 6 are real, my 4 are real.
But they're old as hell. I'm pro olds at this point. Like,
because I'm here for whatever. Do they still give out Oreos at dry cleaners?
What?
Huh? Is that not a thing?
Wait, I don't understand.
Yeah.
Your family never told you don't take candy from strangers?
I wasn't going in.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio in downtown Madison, alongside America's favorite Alex Gravatt. Here's Jim Rutledge.
Hour number 2 of Jim, Matt, and Molly continues. Live from the Everlight Solar Studio. He's Alex G. I am Jim Rutledge. You can get into the show, 844-770-3776 on the Carbless Talk and Text line. Less is more. We have a Siding Unlimited poll question asking you, there are currently 4 teams with better odds than the Packers to land Myles Garrett. Which team would you least want to see Myles Garrett on? That's our Siding Unlimited poll question. I am voting, if you were a Packers fan, for the Lions. And the Lions are up there at 52%, followed by the Eagles and the Commanders. The Bears are actually in at 20%. That's probably just hating on the Bears. Don't want them to get a talented player, which I get. Pressure. And you can chime in on that. We did have Rip and Rona. Before the break, we're talking a little bit of Milwaukee Bucks basketball. He asked, don't you think he'll just wait till the year after and not exercise his player option? Talking about Giannis. Giannis's player option is, I believe, so this year's the 24-25 season. So he's got a 25-26 year at 54, and then 26-27 at 58, and then he's got a player option in 27-28. So that's a little bit further out. Meanwhile, Dame makes $58 million next year.
Yeah. Hey, but you brought up a really good point that might even be built in as a fail-safe for the Bucks to still be able to get the most out of Giannis in a trade.
What's that?
The player option being the following year, because this next year is very pivotal.
I brought that up. Yeah, during the break here. If you're gonna do it to maximize value for the Milwaukee Bucks, you don't want him. Right, you'd rather the Bucks trade Giannis than him walk, right?
I would like to, but then you have to use Giannis to get all of the young pieces to hopefully make a push at something with Dame.
No,
but then
you blow the whole thing up.
But then at a certain point, I want to do right by Giannis, and doing right by Giannis would be trading him in the situation that you're talking. If he comes out and says, you know what? We've done this song and dance. We've tried. It's not going to happen. I want something for him, obviously, but I don't see the Bucks as the franchise that gets back to the top with whoever comes next. It's going to be a while.
Oh, you have to do what Oklahoma City's done, which is a similar market to Milwaukee, and you trade Dame and you trade Giannis and you trade everything you can to maximize just as much draft capital and young player capital as possible. And you might have pain for a few years, but now Oklahoma City looks like might be the favorite to win the title.
Well, can I say Oklahoma City, when talking about pain for a few years, I mean, they went through 3 to 4 years of being the bottom of the barrel. Like not just being like, oh, we're not a great team, we're just like slightly below average. Like, no, you're going to be the worst team in the NBA.
But that's what you cannot win without getting a superstar. And you're not going to trade to acquire a superstar if you don't have anyone and you are in Milwaukee.
But looking back at the conversation we had about the Brewers yesterday with owner Mark Attanasio saying, is it his job to field an entertaining squad or to try and win a World Series? Are we sure Bucks ownership is willing to not only yet let Giannis walk, but then also risk possibly going into a deep 2 to 3 year run of being pretty irrelevant and only for the hopes of getting another player who could be 80% of what Giannis was?
To me, it's public trust because what the Brewers are doing, putting out a team that is budget friendly, that's a good time, it's fine and dandy. The Bucks have a title. Whatever you believe on John Horst, that's fine. He's a championship winning GM. So then you say,
win a 6.
All right, John, you get a little window here of you're going to have to just reset. And the Bucks are not going to be able to. The Golden State Warriors are the aberration, the team that can keep a star, reset on the fly. The Bucks tried to do it. It looks like it's a failure. Now, everything can be changed and rewritten here if they make a deep run in the playoffs, but it's starting to look like a failure. They tried. So for me, yes, ownership might have to take a hit on ticket sales for a little bit.
Sure.
But fans should be like, hey, you know what? This Bucks team took a big swing on Dame. They got Giannis. They paid Middleton. They acquired Middleton. So, like, I'm going to trust that they are not going out there on the cheap. They are trying to reset their cap, reset their picks, and then make a jump forward. And so you hope, if you're the Bucks, and if you're a smart Bucks fan, you say the team has earned at least a few years of a rebuild, and you just have to start showing promise.
Yes.
You could be exciting if, I don't know the next big stars, but for an example, if the Bucks had blown up this year and you add Cooper Flagg and he shows up next year and he's scoring 15 points a game and he's exciting and it's something to be hyped about, now you got a little something again.
Sure.
Like you're into it. Yeah.
Right. And that's the other thing, right? The only other, first off, the Bucks have won a championship very recently. That is enough to say, okay, you've done it, you've shown that you've tried, and then after they won a championship, by the way, by trading for an excellent player in Holiday, they go out, they get rid of him. Okay, that's sad. And they bring in one of the best three-point shooters of all time, a top 75 player in the NBA history. Like, hell yeah, you tried. And let's go. I can appreciate that. If it doesn't work out on the court, that is on the players and the coaching, not on the ownership. The only other thing that I think kind of goes, you can make a stronger argument that the Brewers is more of an event like that. It is a family-friendly event. It's this cool little thing. Whereas the Bucks is a sports game. You're going to a sports game, not just this, idealistic summer activity that
it's
baseball
summer.
is.
You can tailgate. You can be outside. The Bucks, especially if you're coming from Madison, like that's a business decision. I got to freeze my ass off to go see this team play, and then it's going to be late at night.
Growing up in Sheboygan, Wisconsin, Plymouth, Wisconsin, but Sheboygan County, I don't know a lot of people who frequently went to Bucks games. I know so many people who went to Brewers games all the time.
Well, then, yeah, and you have the summer weather and you have guaranteed game. Oklahoma City, and Prime, not that you would need to know this. I just want to clear it up. So they were horrendous in 2021 at 22 wins, 21-22 at 24 wins, but then they 22-23, 40-42. You'd call that entertaining. And then the last 2 years they've turned it.
Wasn't that 40-42 with Chris Paul?
No, Paul was gone. The 44-28. That was the last year they had Chris Paul, and then they had 2 years of 20-some wins. But like 48-28, 40-42, like especially that 40-42, that's with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and like that's something you're excited about.
If you have a guy like Shai, who is the budding star, yeah.
That's why I used Oklahoma City market size, but they were able to do it on the fly. They emptied the coffers. They made smart move. They brought in a guy like Chris Paul, knowing that they're probably going to flip him. But they were able to maintain, for all intents and purposes, a pretty exciting. And in fact, Oklahoma City, goodness gracious, since 2009, they've only not won at least 40 games twice.
And it was those 2 years?
Yeah, a lot of 40s in there. That's basketball hell, but I'm just saying that
they were a very sustainable team year over year for a long time.
But that's also an elite GM. I don't know if Horst is that. I'm not saying he isn't, but that organization and that ownership, everything. I mean, I think we all know this, that the Bucks ownership went to Oklahoma City, saw what they did there, and took a lot of that to the Pfizer Forum when they built the Pfizer Forum.
The Deer District, yeah.
The Deer District, the whole thing. Like, Oklahoma City is the blueprint for a team like Milwaukee.
And the other thing is the Pfizer Forum and the Deer District and all of that has become so important that it does make it at least it feels like to me the Bucks will be a little bit more sustainable even after Giannis, whether that's because he retires or because he asks for a trade. Right? There is intrigue. It's kind of a hot spot. It's a new fun place. It's not the Bradley Center, right? Like, there's reason to like what's going on there.
And again, Bucks fans want to show up. They showed up when they had Big Dog and Ray Allen. And here's the other part of it with the Oklahoma City comp. And I don't know when exactly they did this, but remember they had Harden and Durant and Russell Westbrook, and they had to blow that whole thing up. Mm-hmm. They couldn't pay them. Now that's not where the Bucks are at right now. They can pay. They're willing to pay, but they blew it all up, and they restarted it. And then they restarted it. It was solid, but not good enough. So they blew it up again, and then they, to Ryan's point, horrendous for 2 years, and then they started an upward climb. So that's where you have to trust the GM and trust the basketball people, and then trust ownership that when it comes back around, they spend the money. But I do think in a world, and I don't know who's coming down the pipe as far as draft picks, but if they had to, if the Bucks get rid of Giannis, they're blowing the whole damn thing up. And I'm not going to fault Giannis here, and the Bucks better not. Better not. It was worse for Giannis. For me, I would rather Giannis, maybe it's a poll question, I'd rather Giannis ask for a trade than to not pick up his player option.
So just let him walk. Yeah, I don't think there's any world where that ever happens, honestly.
So, but this is where Giannis is smart. Giannis knows. Giannis is a very smart guy. He says outwardly, I'm not going anywhere. You know what the Bucks aren't doing? They're not risking Giannis leaving. So Giannis goes, I'm not asking for a trade. Now, he didn't say, I'm re-signing and playing here forever. Giannis said, I'm not asking for a trade. This is where Giannis is brilliant, because not asking for a trade and the team realizing, oh, we're bleeped, because next year, 25-26, that's his that's his second last year. Trade him in a contract year, you're not going to maximize. I guarantee that if the Bucks are playing the same way next year at this date at the trade deadline, so obviously a few weeks back, Giannis is getting traded. I guarantee it. And Giannis is smart. He's not asking for a trade. The Bucks are like, well, we're screwed.
Here's Giannis's quote from yesterday. Or 2 days ago, whatever it was now. I don't think that I would ever text and ask for a trade, is in quotes. I'm not that kind of guy. They would have to kick me out.
Right. Exactly. Brilliant man. Because they will kick him out because they know.
Because
here's the thing.
At a certain point, they have to.
He's going to pick up his player option. He's not going to do it. If this team isn't, and they know that.
And we remember last time before he got the Supermax, when I was working at a grocery store pushing carts, we were all on the edge of our seat waiting to hear what Giannis was going to do, because he wasn't sure if he was going to sign or if he was going to ask for something else.
From the biggest players on the court to the comments made in the locker room, an in-depth recap after every Bucks game in 6 minutes, no more, no less. That's Bucks in 6 as part of the Bucks Plus Audio Network. If you missed any of the game or just want to relive the biggest moments, Bucks in 6 provides game recaps every morning after. Hear the high-flying dunks from Giannis or the deep threes from Dame. That's going to be a completely different read in a few years. And catch the comments post-game about what happened on the court. Bucks in 6 on the Bucks Plus Audio Network. Find it bucks.com/plus or Spotify, Apple, and wherever you get your podcasts. It's Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light.
Hey, this is Matt's Chicago Doppelganger. You're listening to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN Madison.
Dinner just got easier and tastier. Pizza Hut's Ultimate Hut Bundle is here to save the day. Starting at just $24.99, you can get any 2 medium pizzas, 8 boneless wings in your favorite flavor, and your choice of cinnamon, cheese, or breadsticks with 2 dips. Feed the family or wow your friends without breaking the bank. The Ultimate Hut Bundle is only here for a limited time. Hurry in and order online today at pizzahut.com. The Ultimate Hut Bundle. Only at Pizza Hut. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
You can accomplish quite a lot in 6 years. You go from changing diapers to dropping your child off at school. You can get a bachelor's and a master's degree. And you can take up to 6 years to pay off your brand new Pella windows and doors at 0% interest. You get so much more than stunning windows and doors. It's the Pella experience. Talk about quality control. Pella manufactures, sells, installs, and services every product. Set your free in-home consultation today at PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply. Ends 3/8/25.
When it comes to security for your home and family, you want a winner, and we found one when we placed our trust with J&K Security Solutions. This is Greg Gard. Kim and Jeff hit the game-winning shot for us with the Control 4 home technology system. Home or away, from our smartphones, we can open the garage door, dim the lights, turn on the TV, as well as arm the security system. That's convenience as well as peace of mind. Let J&K Security Solutions do for your home or business like they've done for us. Call 255-5799 or online at jksecurity.com.
All day, every day, the Carbless Talk and Text line is open for you. 844-770-3776. The Carbless Talk and Text line. This is more.
Have you been waiting to buy your next home? Stop. Now is the time to get housed. What's up, Madison? It's Stacy from Bruner Realty. Nobody has a crystal ball to know what the future holds. The longer you wait to find your next home, the better the chance you'll be paying more for it than you would be today. Don't miss out on what could be the best opportunity to find your dream home. Contact our team at BrunerRealtyInc.com to help start your search. That's BrunerRealtyInc.com. Let's get housed.
At Metro Ford of Madison, we're making it easier than ever to find the Ford of your dreams. Check out this month's unbeatable offers, like the 2024 Ford F-150 with 3.9% APR for 66 months, plus $2,000 flex buy cash, $60.86 cost per thousand. Or drive off in the 2024 Ford Escape with 1.9% APR for 66 months, plus $2,000 flex buy cash, $15.97 cost per thousand. Hurry, these offers end February 28th. Head to Metro Ford of Madison today or visit MetroFordofMadison.com.
Hey, it's Hunter Vaughn. ESPN Madison and Zimbrick Honda are celebrating the area's best high school sports stories with the Game Changers of the Month. Follow ESPN Madison on social media to see teams making an impact in their community. Nominate your local team today at ESPNMadisonGameChangers.com.
American Family Insurance is a lot like Captain America. He protects the world.
It's just doing my job.
And we help protect your dreams with amazing auto and home coverage. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com. And see Marvel Studios' Captain America: Brave New World.
Suit up. We need to move.
In theaters February 14th. This film is not yet rated.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Heated rivals go head-to-head at TD Garden.
Bottom 36 for Tatum.
Sitting in second and third in the East, the Celtics and Knicks face off in a critical clash. Tip off at 1 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ABC. Presented by Indeed.
We're going to skate to one song only.
Molly continues live from the Everlight Solar Studio. No Matt Hamilton. Alex G in for Matty Ice, who's on the ice, or I don't know, he's curling. I don't know what happened today. Brian, do we know what happened today?
I have not checked today, actually. I'm not sure if they even started the event out there yet today.
They won last night.
Honestly, when looking at the schedule for it, it's kind of tough to know exactly when the Hamiltons are playing. You know when like the curling action starts each day, but it doesn't tell you when each team starts, so it is confusing.
I feel like curling assumes that you just want to watch the curling and you're not dialing in for a team.
Maybe.
Which is a massive mistake because I would feel like...
Okay, ultimate Frisbee at the club and high school and college level is at least findable on either Twitter or their website. Like you can... It's not that hard to figure out.
I don't know. It's a Rubik's Cube there.
It's not a
Ryan problem. I'm not kidding. It is, It is a pain in the ass to figure out what this team is doing. Even when they're in the Olympics, I'm like, what are they doing? When do they lose?
It doesn't feel like it's an incredibly tech-savvy sport world, but that's just my thought.
All right, he's Alex G. Molly Brown is out, but that doesn't mean we can't play Molly's game.
Hi. I am looking for Molly. I've been searching everywhere and I can't seem to find Molly.
This is Molly's Game, hosted by America's favorite bookie, Molly Brown.
Yes, and as Jim Rutledge said, Molly Brown's still out with babies, but she's putting in overtime while out on maternity leave for us guys.
Really, any work is overtime.
Truly it is. I feel terrible every time I text her and ask her to send us the lines for Molly's
You only got one more to do after this one, right?
That's true.
Wow.
Yes, you're right. That's going to be an exciting one. I can't wait. But Molly Brown did deliver this week. She kind of phoned it in last week with the NBA All-Star Game lines. She didn't know how to say Martellus Buzelis or the Bulls up-and-coming star, Jim.
Oh, I don't know how to say it.
He doesn't know how to say it either. All right,
he's
never mind.
Lithuanian. He starts with a B, but he grew up in the Chicagoland area. He's a B. I love him, but I don't know how to say his last name.
Well,
fair.
And we can't seem to get Molly Brown to say it correct either.
Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Correct.
Yeah.
Big Bucks fan there, Alex G. All right, well. First one, guys. Molly Brown, not interested in basketball today, at least. She wants to know about some hockey action, guys. USA taking on Canada in the, what is it? The
Four Nations?
Four Nations face-off. There you go. Tip squaring off in the championship game tonight. Let's hear what Molly Brown wants us to pay attention to in tonight's game.
All right, guys, the USA takes on Canada tonight in the Four Nations face-off final. I want to know, how many fights do you think will occur in the game? Remember, the last time that these two teams met, there was 3 fights in the first 9 seconds.
Alex G, did you watch the Four Nations face-off between the USA and Canada last Saturday?
I did not, but I saw the highlights of the fight. Awesome.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with, I think they got a lot of it out of their systems, but we're still going to go with 3.
3 fights again? On the dot?
3 total, yeah.
Okay, all right.
Not in the first 9 seconds.
Yeah, that would be crazy.
First of all, Matas Buzelis.
Matas Buzelis.
Boozealous is how you pronounce it.
Shabuzi?
Buzelis.
Shabuzi, yes.
Matas Buzelis.
Matas Buzelis. All right, Jim, how many fights?
I don't know. 2. This is something that will not at all.
Are you interested in fights in hockey?
Oh, I don't care, but the fights are, I don't know. It's fights in all sports, just to like 2 dudes that really can't fight go after it. I know hockey players are tougher than most, but still they're not like talented fighters. It's not what you're there for.
But they are fighting on skates.
But also remember, I don't watch UFC.
Right.
I used to watch boxing, but that's just not relevant anymore. And I so like watching hockey is not going to do it for like watching hockey guys fight, not going to get it.
I don't watch fighting. I do get a lot of fighting content on my Facebook algorithm for some reason, and so I'll watch that. But no, I think hockey fighting very fun. The rest of sports not cool. Fighting and hockey great.
And I'm not like against it. I'm not tuning in for it.
Still, which another question, because we've had this like every offseason. Which sport has the worst fights? Baseball, football, basketball. Who's the least talented fighters? Just in general.
Okay, well, no,
they're all equally bad.
No, you have to be, reasonably speaking, it has to be football players because they're punching helmets. Like, dude, gut shot. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're breaking your hands.
Yep.
I feel like basketball players have never thrown punches in their lives, or the way they throw them on the court.
Yeah, but some of the
it doesn't look
nastiest,
like it.
Rudy Tomjanovich, broke someone's face. So some of the nastiest landed punches I think of basketball.
I think ceiling and floor, that's the widest.
Yeah.
Okay. Baseball fights are all pretty similar. Football fights are all very similar.
Baseball, I don't remember a good Nolan Ryan beating the hell out of Robin Ventura and Pedro Martinez chucking Don Zimmer. That's
when Rougned Odor knocked out Jose Bautista? You don't remember that?
No.
Really?
No.
That was an iconic knockout. All right, well, then we'll get to the next one, guys. Speaking of knockouts, let's see who's going to win tonight.
Who you got in that matchup, USA or Canada?
Jim, who you got?
Canada.
I'll go USA. Canada's 137 or whatever, but sure, I'll just be opposite of him.
That's what I like to hear, G. All right, well then, guys, we can wrap it up with Molly's game on our next line here. Let's see what Molly Brown throws to us.
And on Friday night, the Milwaukee Bucks take on Chris Middleton and the Washington Wizards for the first time since the trade. I want to know, who do you think will have more points in that matchup, Chris or Kyle Kuzma?
All right, G, who scores more, Middleton or Kuzma?
It's going to be Middleton. He's going to be back. People are going to be cheering for him. Kuzma's doesn't have... I don't know what the storyline is with Kuzma playing against the Wizards, but it's going to be a lot for...
I mean, it's his old team.
Sure, but it's not the same. They didn't win a championship. They're on the worst team. This is a good team that Chris got traded away from. And Chris is the only one scoring on that team at this point. He averaged about the same as Kuzma did when he was there.
Hey, Milwaukee legend Jordan Poole is on that team, sir. He's filling up the stat sheet this year.
Sure,
he is.
Sure.
He is.
Yes, he's what? Is he the second, or probably statistically speaking, the highest scorer? But yeah, I'm going to go with Chris because there's other people to score in Milwaukee.
Okay. All right. Well, he will be playing a bigger role. And by the way, the game is in Washington, if that changes your opinion whatsoever. Nope. Okay. Jim, what do you say?
Man, I think Kuzma. I could see Chris playing 10 minutes.
That's the thing, yeah.
I'm just betting on the available Bobby.
And especially without Bobby anymore. Now, Kuzma's probably playing like a starting role now. He's playing all the Bobby minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
So,
Bobby!
Kuzma's better than Bobby.
Right now, yeah.
Sure.
Also,
I'll agree with
Kuzma,
that.
another underrated part of that trade, he's got a descending salary.
Oh, really? That's good. Does he have crazy eyes and a headband?
He's got crazy style.
He has the opposite mentality and aura from Bobby. Like, Kuzma is just, like, super laid-back, super relaxed guy. Bobby is, like, the picture-perfect, just, like, psycho-looking dude.
But I also think
like,
they
will
both provide good team vibes, just in a different way.
Good. You just can't help but love Bobby, even though he's not going to play for the next 25 games.
Can you not help but love Bobby?
There's something to him that you got to appreciate.
I'm just trying to make sure you're saying it right. I want to make sure, like, I want to make
Do
sure
you
it's
love
like
Bobby?
Yes. Well, because I want to make sure it wasn't like a double negative, and all of a sudden it's not loving Bobby. I love Bobby Portis.
What?
I mean, I don't want to pay him anymore. I want him
fair.
off the team because I don't think he's worth the salary. But like, I still love him.
Yeah,
I loved him back. I loved him with the Bulls. I've had Bobby Love before any of you guys jumping on this.
That's fair.
Bobby was fun with the Bulls. Out of Arkansas, he was a fun kid to root for back then.
I just like
Chicago.
him. He likes Coors Lights too, so we like that.
Yeah, we share the same beer taste. And
that's crush, of Coors Light.
It's like Pat Connaughton's like a great dude. I don't want him on the Bucks anymore.
I like Bobby a lot more than Pat.
Same, but they're both getting paid too much.
Yeah, but
old and bloated contracts.
Wait, but Jim, how can you say that?
What are you getting I'm pro olds at this point. Like
you can't go back.
College pro olds. If the Badgers can get
at this point,
Bobby Portis on scholarship, sign him up.
You're telling me you like people in their mid-20s. That's not just old, just mid-20s.
Would you rather have John Tonje or Pat Connaughton on the Bucks?
Probably Pat still, though.
Yeah, okay, fair.
At their current prices. I don't know how much Tonje's getting in
Tonje
NIL,
can't be.
but
I mean, he was not a
I mean,
high
if you
value
could give me Tonje
transfer
league
portal.
minimum, I might take a flyer on that over Pat.
You get him less than league minimum.
And that's my whole point on Pat. Like, these are the guys, Pat, Bobby, some of those players. It wouldn't have made a huge difference, but it would have helped in the margins where those players you can't pay, you have to replace with other undrafted finds. There's no finish line in like sports where it's like, all right, we got our guys, and now no. When you got your bottom of the barrel or rotational guys on the cheap,
fill the funnel.
You gotta get some more rotational guys on the cheap.
Work ain't done.
Look at the Heat. The Heat were great at that.
Yeah,
just cycling in just randos.
Yeah, it's one of those things. Certain organizations, franchises just develop,
or you do what they did with Udonis and pay him peanuts and then just tell him like in the end, dude, we're gonna give you a bunch of money when you retire. We'll give you a part of the ownership, or whatever.
Player, coach, whatever he is. Yeah,
yeah.
Minister of vibes, he really was.
I might change my Instagram bio to administer of vibes. That sounds really good.
I don't know if you qualify.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I'm not trying to knock you down.
Hey, you don't know my player lifestyle, okay?
Oh, Minister of Vibes for the Madison Radicals?
I am the coordinator of shenanigans and the doer of antics.
You would be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Jim at my percent of my Coors Light.
That is neat.
Molly Brown here for Potawatomi. Hey, all you sports bettors, if you aren't making your wagers at Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee, you're missing out on an elite experience. The state-of-the-art venue has dozens of self-service betting kiosks, seating for over 200 people, a first-class bar and restaurant, VIP deck, and a broadcast booth, which we're big fans of. In a major move for all sports bettors out there, you can now use your Potawatomi rewards card at most self-service kiosks and the betting counter. If that isn't enough for you, there's a giant video wall that's over 2,000 square feet. And if you're short on time, they have free 20-minute reserved structure parking. Bet on your favorite sports and earn rewards points along the way. Now that's a winning play. Bet above the rest. Learn more at paysbig.com/sportsbook.
You're listening live from St. John's, Newfoundland. The Newfies love Jim, Matt, and Molly. 100.5 ESPN Madison.
One word captures why so many businesses choose to do business with James Imaging Systems. Local. Local business technology. Local support. Local accountability. Listen to James' client Daniel Bertelson, RE/MAX Preferred CEO.
James Imaging is one of the vendors that we use to move all of our documents and set up networks and utilize their equipment for scanning and storage purposes.
Local support works for James' client Josh Gabel, Service Manager with Kirsch Appliance.
Yeah, things happen.
happen, they can come out and fix it and leave us to what we're needing to do.
Jennifer Wilger, purchasing manager with Baker Manufacturing, likes the local accountability from the James Imaging Systems people.
They're an absolutely wonderful partner for us. They go above and beyond.
Local business technology, local support, local accountability. Get it all from James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner. Call 608-221-3457 or visit jamesimaging.com.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Hi, I'm John Hayes of Goodman's Jewelers. It's hard to imagine, but Goodman's has been the diamond store of Madison since 1933, which means your parents, maybe even your grandparents might have shopped with us. We maintain the same high standards, honesty, and integrity that kept them coming back time and again. Keep their history and our history alive. Shop Goodman's Jewelers today in the heart of Madison at 220 State Street. We're online at goodmansjewelers.com.
The best is at Goodman's.
Come see what the buzz is all about at Madison Axe, Madison's state-of-the-art entertainment spot. Enjoy 8 lanes of axe throwing, craft beer, interactive games, plus digital target projection and scoring. For even more fun, check out their indoor backyard with 2,000 square feet of shuffleboard, cornhole, yard games, bar table games, and more. Perfect for date night, groups, corporate meetings, or private events. Madison Axe is your destination for all things fun. Throw it, nail it, celebrate. Go to MadisonAxe.com or head to their location on Stoughton Road today.
Do you have a student in grades 6 through 8 ready to babysit? Stoughton Health's Safe Sitter course is Saturday, February 22nd from 9 a.m. to 2:45 p.m. at Stoughton Hospital. The Safe Sitter course teaches students life-saving skills, understanding how to handle emergencies and treat injuries, from watching younger siblings to babysitting to just being home alone. Give your students these valuable skills. Class fee is $50. Financial assistance is available. Visit stoughtonhealth.com to register, then click on Classes and Events.
It started with a prediction.
We'll go out there and play basketball and win.
And how many games?
6.
It became the culture.
Chance of Bucks in 6.
Being a Bucks fan means you live and breathe Bucks in 6. Brandon Jennings created the prophecy. Tune into Behind the Bucks, the story of Brandon Jennings on the Bucks Plus audio network. Behind the Bucks is presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. Available now on Bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, and streaming wherever you get your podcasts.
That's for the culture.
Hey, it's Evan Cohen. Coming up Friday, we'll react to the Four Nations Face-Off Championship game, plus look ahead to a big weekend in the NBA for teams who fancy themselves as title contenders. It's Unsportsmanlike.
Weekdays from 5 to 9 on 100.5 ESPN.
No sleep till!
Jim, Matt, and Molly continues live from the Everlight Solar Studio. He's Alex G. I am Jim Rutledge. Primetime Lorisheim with you as well. I like that it's still a little bit light outside.
Someone keeps closing the blinds, and that drives me bonkers.
Yeah, bleep them. I want to see the sun. Especially, here's the thing. If you're leaving at 5, open the blinds back up at the Everlight Solar Studio.
It's not like you have to go through and do, like, just right next to the door.
On your way out, open them back up.
We got the fancy blinds.
Some of us work past 5 o'clock. Not all of us just shut it down. Some of us work past 5 o'clock.
Sales team.
Especially Prime sales team. Nobody's here but me, you, and Prime.
Yeah,
team.
I'm adding them.
Yeah, but team in general. They're all warm and cozy in their beds. Or at their homes.
Admittedly, I am way too hot in here right now. I wore this like knit sweater. Yeah, it was a bad choice. I am cooking. You're wearing a sheep. These are also wool-lined pants. I don't work outside per your conversation.
You do look like a peasant farmer in like the 1400s.
This is far too fancy to be called peasant.
I don't know.
Thank you.
All right, fine. You look like a boat like hand or something in like New England.
Now we're talking.
See, we've all had this, and like it's cold in the morning, and you like start to go outside. But you also have to remember that none of us work outside.
Yeah,
so,
it does get cool out there sometimes. I work in office every day, Jim.
Yeah.
And I understand. That room stays cool. This being your office where you spend all your time, it gets warm.
Jim, why do you think I go full zip every day?
Oh, you could hear it. That was really good.
Thank you.
Why do you think he pulled his chest close to the microphone? Look at that. That was not a sound effect. All right. Go be a winner. Go to Ho Chunk Gaming Madison. That's where winners go. Go win millions of dollars every single weekend at Ho Chunk Gaming Madison. Let's throw some stones.
1, 2, 3, up.
Some takes are cooler than others.
You know this kid is as cool as the other side of the pillow.
Some opinions are just cooler than the rest.
That was cooler than being cool. Ice cold.
And if you keep it chill, then it's a cold take.
Chill out. I'm chill. I'm chill as a cucumber, man.
I'm always the coldest.
This is Throwing Stones, presented by Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's chillest Kia dealership.
All right, Jim Rutledge, we were talking in the break, and it sounds like you got some stones to throw about, not actually throwing stones, throwing some balls and strikes for us today. What do you got?
Yeah, I think this is going to be... Can we all agree? Let me see if I'm on the right premise here. And I know I'm anti-Peacock just because I can't add any more streaming services. But, like, when Big Ten and ESPN split, it's hurt the fans.
Yes.
The games are a pain in the ass to find. The coverage is usually not as good. The broadcasters aren't as good. The HD, the camera, all of it's not as good. And I got to find, especially basketball, I got to find it on Peacock. Or I always feel like I'm swearing every time I say it. And then you got to, or it's on Big Ten Network. God knows where that is on my, obviously I have YouTube TV, so it just pops up. But, like, it's a disservice to fans. Just like when hockey left ESPN the first time. You know what fell off the face of the cliff? Or fell off the face of the earth? Fell off a cliff? Hockey viewership. Because nobody's watching hockey on MSNBC when the playoffs are going around. Because that's what they were putting in at times. And now MLB and ESPN have mutually opted out of a broadcast deal. This is a national broadcast deal. I think what's going to happen here is that, okay, great. Fox might pick up Sunday Night Baseball. Neato. Baseball on a national level is not growing like other sports. Baseball is very regional. It is very much a sport that you watch your favorite team. The interest in national baseball has always been dwindling. ESPN's mad that MLB's mad at ESPN because ESPN has done less studio coverage because they've had less interest in it. Everyone else, Amazon, Roku, are paying less money for these rights. So ESPN went to MLB and be like, bro, we're not paying the same amount. Like, this is not a good asset for us. MLB's got their feels hurt. Here's what's going to happen. They're going to spread it out. It'll be on Amazon. It'll be on ESPN, I'm sure. Not the national, but they'll spread out some games. There's ESPN Plus games you can see. And what's going to happen is that for those who like national baseball, it's gonna be negative. But I'm sorry, like, just a question here. Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN, or national games on ESPN, not really been anything on my radar ever. Like, I want to watch the Brewers or the Cubs play. That's about it. So if they're on national TV, I'll watch that game, and that's it.
Yeah, I think that's fair. And here's the thing. They're in this era, Taylor Swift days. They're in an era, the MLB is, of growing popularity with younger viewers. And younger viewers, I hate to say it, if they want to find the game and it's not on ESPN, they're going to find the game in illegal ways.
Well, the other part of it is they're citing ESPN's direct-to-consumer as a negative, and then they say ESPN has less subscribers, but they're citing cable has dropped from being in 100 million homes. They use ESPN, but no. Cable, which the number one reason why people have cable is ESPN.
Live sports.
But ESPN specifically, when they ask people, it's ESPN. That's why ESPN is still the most expensive thing on your cable bill. It's about $8 a month. It was 100 million. Now it's down to 53 million people. That's not an ESPN problem. That's a Charter or whatever the hell they're called problem. Nobody wants cable anymore. Nobody buys cable. That is a cable TV problem. But MLB is trying to spin it to the ESPN problem. That's why ESPN's going direct, because cable TV is dying, and ESPN now has said, hey, you're dead, so we no longer... Well, we've already lost half of our money. Like, ESPN used to make 100 million homes, $8 per home. Now it's down to 50. The ESPN is like, well, forget it. We're just going to cut off and we'll go direct to consumer because we don't need you anymore.
Right. And the other part of this is everyone's mad about the decentralization of what they like. And ESPN has been doing this thing, which is fantastic, where they've been conglomerating all of the live sports they possibly can, and only the occasional person who's having a problem, that league leaves for a little bit, but then NHL came back. I imagine, and the MLB will come back at some point. It makes sense. But but that centralizes sports fandom, which is gargantuan. And I'm never going to have a cable box. That's maybe when I own a home and have a family, maybe down the road, but I doubt it. I really doubt it. I think I'm going to be a streamer for my entire life, and I'm okay with that. I really am. And having all of my sports in one place makes it so easy.
Exactly. So, my long story short, this is going to hurt fans.
Yes.
Just like when ESPN and Big Ten broke up, fans see less Big Ten games. This is going to lead, and these are all facts. ESPN, when hockey left ESPN, fans see less hockey games. And then you're going to kill a generation.
Yeah.
What do you think, to your point on younger generations, kids firing up Fox or NBC or wherever it lines up, or Apple or Roku Sunday night to watch two random baseball teams play?
No.
I'm sorry. Be more tone deaf, MLB. What they need to do is figure out their regional distribution, because that's the future, and the only way that MLB has a future is continuing to make sure that they can regionally distribute their games, which is why you should just listen to them here on ESPN Madison. We're going to carry all the games on ESPN Madison. Baseball is still the Sounds of Summer, and the Sounds of Summer are on ESPN Madison starting on Saturday. It's Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light.
Matt and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN, ESPN Madison on YouTube, and Wisconsin On Demand.
Since J&K Security Solutions opened in 1987, our attention to detail and customer service have been our strongest assets. I'm President Jeffrey Beckman. We'll always do our best to find the most efficient and cost-effective solution to every job we tackle. Whether it's security for your home or business, installing video surveillance, or being able to control your garage doors from your phone, we can help you feel empowered with simple and user-friendly technology. Let's work together to secure your home or business. jksecurity.com.
Hi, Dave from Canopy Wealth Management here. Our balanced approach helps guide you through a complex and ever-changing landscape. Throughout your family's financial planning journey, we will serve as a partner, advocate, and steward in all aspects to help you achieve your goals with confidence. At Canopy, care, competence, and clarity, it's not just a tagline, it's a promise. Go to canopy-wealth.com to get started today. That's canopy-wealth.com.
They did it again. For the 5th time, Siding Unlimited, the 30-year-old Wisconsin family-owned company, is the Pella Window and Door Company's Platinum Premier Certified Contractor of the Year in the whole USA. Siding Unlimited is here in Madison with a dynamic outside-in showroom. See Siding Unlimited's window, door, roofing, deck, and other great outside stuff inside at 2018 South Stoughton Road, south of Buckeye. See Siding Unlimited's frequent Instagram posts or go to sidingunlimited.com.
Do you know the secret to losing up to 1 pound of fat every day? At MadisonWeightLoss.com, we know the secret. Our doctor-developed, easy-to-follow weight loss program helps you lose weight fast, naturally, and safely with no drugs or injections, no prepackaged meals, bars, shakes, or exercising required. Our program helps reset your metabolism so you can lose weight quickly and keep the weight off for good with an easy-to-follow maintenance plan that includes ongoing personal support. And our program costs half as much and works up to twice as fast than most other programs. Go to MadisonWeightLoss.com to schedule your free consultation now.
Hey, it's Jesse Nelson. This feels like the perfect time of year to share how much I loved my experience working with Madison Weight Loss. I was able to drop 40 pounds in 60 days. You might just love the natural, healthy approach to weight loss, too. Schedule a free consultation at MadisonWeightLoss.com.
Many clients lose 20 to 30 pounds in about a month or two. That's up to a pound per day. Schedule your free consultation now at MadisonWeightLoss.com. That's MadisonWeightLoss.com. Results may vary.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
We're with Liam after his 4th military move, when being new is starting to get old. We're with all service members and their families. Are you with them? Learn more at USO.org today.
Welcome back to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN. Also brought to you by J&K Security Solutions.
It's Dame time on Season 4 of Behind the Bucks podcast presented by Gallagher. Explore Bucks superstar Damian Lillard's unlikely journey from a 2-star high school prospect to a top 75 player in NBA history. Narrated by senior NBA insider Chris Haynes, this series reveals exclusive details of Dame's trade to the Bucks and experience with the team. Find Behind the Bucks on Bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, and wherever you get your podcast. Behind the Bucks is presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefit consultant. He's Alex G. I'm Jim Rutledge. Primetime Wollersheim with you as well in the Everlight Solar Studios. Jim, Matt, and Molly presented by Coors Light. If the mountains are blue, you know what to do.
And that's crush a Coors Light.
We had a tradition, Rutledge and Hamilton, and then it was Jim, Matt, and Molly after dark. It's almost after dark. I got a story here that from Jason Richardson.
Oh, boy.
Okay? I don't know what podcast he shared this on. But Jason Richardson, who played with Shaquille O'Neal, I got to do my best to make this radio friendly, says that Shaq once took a teammate's mouthpiece and placed it in his tuchus.
Whoa.
Then took that teammate's toothbrush bristle end in tuchus as well.
In or on?
In.
In?
In is the word.
Oh, my.
Lou Amundsen was the player, unknowingly used the mouthpiece in a game. The whole bench lost it, according to Richardson. Lou didn't know what happened until we told him Shaq put it in his tuchus. Matt Barnes then told Amundsen, basically throw away everything in your locker, because it probably has been in Shaq's tuchus. I'm sorry, that's criminal. That's not fun. Like,
That's too far. And not only is it too far, it's dangerous for health. Like, you could get strep or all sorts of sickness.
Pre-COVID.
Sure. But, like, Shaq, dude, that's maybe like a bigger prank on you. What?
Yeah.
Too far. I mean, like,
literally.
Too far. Like, way too far. Like, that's not like a...
I'm a fan
physically and metaphorically.
Like, if you took his mouth guard and toothbrush and, like, ran it across the bathroom floor, okay.
Ugh.
In an orifice.
Yeah.
Orifice?
Yeah, no.
You could say it.
Both are gross.
Awful.
But, like, there's levels to this. And inside an orifice is different than on a bathroom floor.
Like,
I'm not saying either are great. Like, men are gross and they do mean things to prank each other. But, like,
man, that's, I mean, because everyone knows someone, or at least I guess maybe I've got bad friends or something, but everyone knows somebody who's had some sort of prank done, including pee, right? Like, I peed on your shirt and you wore it, or like, I peed a little in a water bottle and made somebody drink it, right? Like, that's a weird one that I've heard. Yes.
Wait, you didn't
No,
do that.
I have not. Absolutely not. No,
Goodness
but like,
gracious.
those things happen, and it's just wild.
So, I mean, for being honest, again, I was 9.
You were 9.
Yes.
Okay. He drank pee.
No.
There you go.
No. There was a couple of us back in Fort Atkinson who may have urinated into a cup, put ice in it, told someone it was Mountain Dew. They took a sip. We laughed. I was 9.
Yes.
It's not okay.
It's not.
But I was 9. Shaq, I would imagine, in his 30s. Basically, Shaq did something a 9-year-old would do.
Oh, man.
Shaq is kind of like a 7-foot 9-year-old, though. That is kind of his personality.
He's a DJ nowadays.
He's DJ. He was like a sheriff's deputy at one point.
So Jason Richardson last played in the NBA 2014. He would have played with Shaq. Goodness, in Phoenix probably. So 2000.
Oh, this
somewhere,
is Phoenix Shaq?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's dry skin Shaq.
2008.
Desert.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. 2008
Well, I'd rather it be
2011.
dry than wet, I guess.
I don't know. Neither are good.
Wet skin? Is that a thing?
Yeah.
Swamp?
I think he was talking about, like, forearm.
Listen,
like dry skin. Like,
let's keep it
if you're in the
moving.
desert, you have, like, dry skin.
I guess it's warm in L.A., too.
That's true.
Yeah, it's just warm all the time. Man, that's uncomfortable. Good way to end the show, Jim.
Can I say I do want to give another Badgers-related NBA note, too?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the Memphis Grizzlies are signing for former Penn State forward Lamar Stevens to a 10-day contract, and In order to do that, they are releasing Johnny Davis to create the roster space. Former Badgers guard who once played for the Wizards, and I got to be honest, did not realize he was with the Grizzlies.
Yeah, he was traded this last at the deadline here. I'm going to say this, not just because he's got Wisconsin ties. Like, that's the type of player the Bucks should see if they can get on a two-way contract put with the Herd or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, that's the flyer they need to take.
Yeah.
And can they turn – and I'm sorry. And I'm not saying – can you turn Johnny Davis into Pat Connaughton but affordable? Like, that is the type of move, and we just know Johnny Davis. That is the move that the Bucks need to do, and then you hope to God that you find a few rotational guys, and then that mid-level free agent that you're trying to get turns into being like a good player. So if you had like I don't know who'll be out there, but if you had someone who is a fringe starter at a guard, kind of a swing guard, shooting guard, point guard person that could be a starter, shooting guard, or back up for Dame when he's out, a younger player, I think that'd be ideal.
Absolutely. If Tanjay's available next year, because he's not going to get drafted probably, put him on the Herd. Get him reps.
This is Jim, Matt, and Molly. We are presented by Coors Light. We'll be back at it tomorrow. And then after that, it's Matt Hamilton, and then Jim, Matt, and Molly actually back. So it's getting close. It's been Jim, Matt, and Molly presented by Coors Light.